Fire for your mind. The Kosher Clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads pick it back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters, acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
Males crying out in the wilderness for justice and equality for those that are downtrodden and broken, those that are voiceless. I was the Kosher Clinician before I was the Kosher Clinician on the internet. My plight and my war cry for justice and humanity is nothing fake. But I've always been kosher. And sit back and get this kosher fun.
Hello, everyone. Is there equality in America, fact or fantasy? First of all, I would like to salute all fellow human beings and most graciously those who are beacons of light for justice and righteousness. To vocally explain the tenets of equality, fact or fantasy, I must begin with the combination of 2 alphabets, I and F, which spells if. There's no respect of person, but gives protection to all of them that fear him. So therefore I ask you this profound and non-scholastic question. If there was equality in America, will I be standing here today? You decide, fact or fantasy. All right.
This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition.
Shout out to Dr. T.S. Johnson. Dr. Johnson was part of the Manhood Chronicles. Dr. Johnson was so kind and gracious in giving me insight in the earlier stages of the Manhood Chronicles. And I would say that before anybody, Dr. T.S. Johnson, salute to you, sir, for being instrumental in this conversation. Also, shout out to Ty Maynard Cutner and my man Gary Scott, as they were also part of the beginning.
You know, financially, you know, in many ways, you know, so a lot of these guys I'm speaking to, they're at their lowest point in their life, you know, and within an hour, a lot of times I'm able to bring life back into them, you know, to get them to the point where whether they join the program or not, at least they know what happened and how it happened and how, you know, to hopefully not have it happen again. So that's what I do for guys. And the reason why I do this is because I know how much it sucks. I've been through it. You know, it's horrible, you know, and there is a way out. And what I tell guys is every time when I call, I get on the phone with the guys and I say, I understand how bad she was, but you
was instrumental in unleashing a political culture.
Also in this epigenesis, I would like to send a special shout out to Dr. Ron Neal, as Dr. Ron Neal was instrumental in the Manhood Chronicles in the earlier stages 2 years ago, and also the Kosher Clinician. Dr. Neal is an
But I'm going to let him explain who he is and what his YouTube content is about. Go ahead, brother.
Thanks again, Brother O'Shea, for having me on the platform. I go by the name The Kosher Clinician on my YouTube platform, but on my Facebook page, I go by SeventhSmalls. And so I started the channel, The Kosher Clinician, as an outpouring to more or less reach and to impact men of color. You know, a lot of times, you know, when we look at a lot of things that, you know, Black men deal with, you know, we have things from a lawyer's perspective, we have things from an anecdotal perspective, but we don't have things from a clinical perspective. So I came up with the Kosher Clinician because as a clinician, a lot of the things that I do is not filtered through the feminist lens. My work is from a Black masculine perspective, similar to Dr. T.S. Johnson. And so I look to more or less empower brothers from a therapeutic lens, but also using red pill concepts and red pill insight. And so I went by the name SeventhSmalls, or the Kosher Clinician, because I believe that there are 7 core principles that all men must more or less utilize in order to become an optimized male. And those 7 core principles are family, female psychology, travel, finances, faith or religion, finances, and also education. So that's why I came up with the term, the Kosher Clinician, because in my mind, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. So kosher means complete. And man, I can't believe it's been almost 2 years ago. Special shout out and many blessings to O'Shea Duke Jackson, as he played an integral role in the beginning to having me get this initiative started. Thank you, O'Shea Duke Jackson.
Okay.
Expose why and how men think the way they think, and how many women are impervious to the needs of modern men. From this show, you're going to ask yourself the question, does Jen really get it? And do many modern women get it in this short expose? The lead attorney, wow, almost 2 years ago, the lead attorney and I shared many times banter about thumbnails, but much respect to the lead attorney, as he also, with the assistance of Gail at Night, was instrumental, as this brother has been so gracious to allow many people to come on his platform. And so shout out. Listen to this. In addition to submit nobody, I say what I believe in. I'll be.
You're a bit more abrasive.
No,
I don't think I'm
at all. I just think we live in a world where we're not used to strong masculine.
No, what he said was he said, you saying that you don't think men talk like him, and what he said was men talk like him when they are around other men. Right. And that's true. And it hurts women a lot, because women will say on the one hand that they don't want to hear men talk like he's talking.
Right.
But then on the other hand, when men say, fine, you don't want to hear us, we're going to talk amongst ourselves.
Right.
We're going to talk amongst ourselves in the country clubs. We're going to talk amongst ourselves in the boardrooms. We're going to talk amongst ourselves in the cigar rooms. And then women like you are like, oh, this is the patriarchy. You won't let me into your boardrooms. You won't let me into your cigar rooms. You won't let me onto your golf courses.
Right.
That's what you women say.
It's true.
And that's why I created a man space, because a lot of men feel like they don't have spaces to articulate their feelings. They don't have what I call a group catharsis, where men can actually come together to congregate and to share their pain and their burden. And that's why, and thanks again, legal attorney, for having me on. That's why I created, not in our own barbershop. He's right. That's why I created a synthetic YouTube channel, the Kosher Clinician. That's why I did it, to try to help brothers.
I think that's great. And I don't think that women need to be a part of those conversations. The only thing I said is I don't think men get together everywhere and talk about women that are ran through. I'm sure there are
I'll say this, I disagree with you. Masculine men do say it.
Okay.
If you got cream puffs and beta males that have been raised sometimes, unfortunately, by women, they might not say it, because you understand a lot of our men that have been conditioned to think on ways to more or less address their mother's feelings. But masculine men that have been raised by their fathers, a masculine man says, son, you need to get what you deserve. Get what you deserve.
Let's not make it synonymous, masculinity and being abrasive and chauvinistic. I don't think you have to be abrasive and chauvinistic to be a manly man, head of household. I don't like those two things being.
But who said anything about being? Once again,
facts. He was about to say, who said anything about being abrasive? And he's exactly right.
Say the language. That's the language that men use.
But see, Jen. Once again, Jen, once again, you want me to think the way you feel, and I don't work that way. I think the way I think. Your schema. You got a schema affliction. Your schema, more or less, is based on how you. You got a schema affliction. Your schema is based on how you think men should talk. And what would YouTube be without Gail at Night? No explanation needed.
us, and he's going to explain all this to you. He's going to also tell his story about how he became the paternity coach. And you guys, be sure to take notes. Take notes, and let's learn something. And it's not going to be necessarily a fun conversation all the time, but let's learn something today. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Mr. Carnell Smith. Mr. Smith, how you doing? Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Gail. Good evening. Hey,
good evening.
Fantastic intro you got.
Great. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Always ready. This is what I'm talking about.
Who can compare to one of the original OGs as he advocated for men, Black Ram?
Good. And so I decided to start this channel called the Kosher Clinician because I knew a lot of men are actually suffering in silence. As a clinical therapist, Black Ram, many times therapists only see things through what I call the feminist theory lens, and they don't more or less adhere to the psychopathology that a lot of Black men are having. So I started.
Hold on a little bit. You said they see things through the feminist theory lens?
Yes, sir. Right.
Oh, you got to break that down for us, brother.
And who can forget the creator of Frustrated 1, 2, and 3, the Honorable Al Greaves and I, as we work together to convey some of the desires and some of the freedoms associated with masculinity. Salute to Al Greaves.
Health. And so there are a lot of toxic and caustic relationships back in the States, which in my opinion, encouraged Brother Al Greaves to write Frustrated 1. What was Frustrated 1 about? What was so paramount?
And consistent with Dr. Wim Glasser, Al Greaves' Frustrated 1, Frustrated 2, and Frustrated 3 will give some type of clarity and credence to why the kingdom is coming to the dogs. The kingdom is coming to the dogs because the kingdom symbolizes the place where men are honored and respected. The kingdom is a man's threshold or place or a man's respite where he can find peace, tranquility, honor, and respect. But sadly, because so many American men are treated like dogs here in America, those men are beginning to understand that there are places where they're not treated as dogs and they're getting the same honor and respect back in return. And what would the world be without the Honorable Judge Palmer, a baby mama terrorist?
Please don't, because they use certain words loosely. Like the term deadbeat does not mean a man who don't pay their child support or a man who's on child support or a man who abandoned his family. A deadbeat is a person, man or woman, who do not pay their financial debt, meaning their bills. I'm just letting y'all know the deadbeat term was created by what's his name? The first Black president, Bill Clinton.
Right.
And it was also created in the court system. They use that term deadbeat. The deadbeat means of anybody who do not pay their financial obligations. So if you don't pay your house note, you don't pay your car note, you consider a deadbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get to bashing. Bashing does not count if you're telling the truth. Bashing means violent physical assault. Or they call it severe criticism. But it ain't severe criticism if you're speaking the truth.
Right.
So don't entertain, like they'll say, Kima's bashing Black women. How is she showing the truth and speaking the truth? It's not bashing. See,
she's speaking the truth, right?
They use words too loosely. That's what I say. Don't get in your feelings to entertain that. Now the other question kind of asked me that question. I just wanted to make it real clear because people really use that bashing term as a defense mechanism to shame you and hurt your feelings or something.
Right.
That's BS. What was your question?
Who can compare to the exalted lion
if she wants to ring
in Chantel Simone?
I don't tolerate that. If you're gonna be my woman, you're gonna be 100% kosher. You're gonna be 100% kosher. There ain't gonna be no damn hyphenated. No, you're gonna be 100% kosher. You're gonna be my woman because I never saw Christ have a hyphen in his name. He was the son of God. It wasn't a hyphen in it. He was God's son. And so if you're going to be on my team, you're going to have to take my whole name, But then if there's a hyphen in your name, there's going to be a hyphen with responsibilities, because that still suggests that we are egalitarian. You know, we're equal. That's what the hyphen symbolizes. It's a feminist and a liberal construct.
Red flag. What about you?
Shout out to the intelligent and always cerebral Shay Sade. Very intelligent and precise in her analysis.
Say that many black men have talked about the love of natural hair, but it's falling on deaf ears by the populace of some of our women. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think you can say that. I think there's a lot to unpack there, but yeah.
So the fascination of what I call a term I may call black cotton. Mm-hmm. Why, if women will love to embrace the beauty of natural hair, what do you think they could do for them psychologically? Not only them psychologically, but also for the man in their life. Because I'm a firm believer that when our women listen to our men, it's a dual benefit. What's your take on that?
Okay, so wait, so you're saying what would be the psychological benefits if more black women wore their natural hair?
Right. As it relates to their own self-esteem, but also to the aggrandizement of the men that are in their lives.
I think that would mean so much for the self-worth of black women. This is just my personal opinion. I don't have like stats or anything on this, but I do believe there is
to be taken care of.
Right. Shout out to Security Boss Unsolicited as we talk about the issues more germane to traditionalism and American women.
Yeah, Raycon Amendment. So if we can prevent that and let them know, we can change mindsets. And I hear what you're saying, but if they're willing, and I just think there's not enough women or examples out there. I was talking to my husband the other day, and I really don't know if there's been enough examples. And this is to take nothing away from black men, right. Okay? There hasn't been enough examples of strong black men in our homes to let women know that this is exactly how it should be.
I agree with that.
And I think they don't know.
Right.
So if we can share some good examples, some good models of how men should be, you know, and how the woman should be, right. I really think women would want that, because I don't understand why they wouldn't.
Right. I think there's so many determining factors, Security Boss, that have more or less shaped the psyche of a lot of men. I think a lot of determining factors have caused men to be in a state of flux. You know, as I said earlier, it's not that men don't want to get married,
right?
But they feel like it's not enough women like you, and you know, and like the who can compare or combat with the intelligent and lyrical savant, the old man.
As to why she was wrong. What do you say to that, Moses? And by the way, while we're here, because Moses' time is limited, he said he's got an hour or so to spare here, so we're going to put the link to the chat room up right now. If you have any questions for Moses Stevens, also known as the Kosher Clinician, the link is in the chat room. You can call on in. What do you say to people like Miss Letitia Underwood of Two Hearts Exclusive Matchmaking, who said that she, being Miss Shabri Rawls, aka Unusually Bree, she said go to therapy, and I'm confused as to why she was wrong. What do you say to that?
It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Listen, the helping profession is about altruism. The helping profession is about healing. There's a time in the therapeutic process as it relates to the interventions, Obsidian, where you can confront clients. But what this woman did, she did an overgeneralization once again, and she spewed negative rhetoric towards the people that she's supposed to hate. It's one thing to say how you feel, but it's not what you say, it's how you say it. What she said was unbecoming as a professional, and I'm going to explain it to you. Can you imagine, if I said, you dumb bees, go get therapy. If you were more logical, you would not be in the predicament that you are in right now with all these baby daddies. Go get therapy, you dumb bees. How do you think that would have went over?
you would be, not only would you have been sacked, you would have gotten the Andrew.
Austin Holloman, the new pioneer.
You can't even have a good time, and that's not even just about sex. That's just about being cool, relaxed, finding a woman that's relaxed and cool that you can actually just converse with. And I found that in Brazil. When I went to Brazil, I now have a peace of mind, right?
Yes.
Before I went to Brazil, I thought I was crazy. I thought something was wrong with me. I had already done a lot of self-improvement.
Yes, sir.
But
Right.
I was like, you know, okay, if I've already improved my physical and I feel fine, maybe I'm crazy or something. Maybe You know.
Yeah, you ain't crazy. I've had guys that done consultation with me, brother. They said the same thing that you said. They thought something was wrong with them, but there's nothing wrong with you or them. It's the culture that we live in. We live in a very entitlement culture, a culture where sadly, many of our men have not been taught to demand power in relationships. And sadly, many of our women have not been taught to understand that their husbands are the power source and the one that's going to love and protect them. But they want what I call, Brother Holloman, taxation without representation and the mental breaking of the American man. Let's talk about the taxation that you went through mentally, how it almost destroyed you before you went to the sandy shores of Brazil.
So I would say in 2020, I actually I started in maybe December, November 2020, I started to develop hatred towards women because it got that difficult to just converse and just other men that I thought were below my attractive level as sexual marketplace value.
Anton Daniels, one of the coolest and realest brothers that I know. Never too big for the moment, but always a man of conviction and truth. Whether you agree with him or not, the man says what he believes in. Shout out to him.
If you want to be more specific, then you can say that a lot of it, and a lot of people are not going to like this, but I don't care because I say what I want when I want to say it. A lot of it is not being able to project where their energy is going, aka a lack of dick discipline. We've seen it happen regularly. We've seen it happen with Ime Udoka. We've seen it happen with a lot of.
But you know, Paul said, "No confidence do I put in the flesh." And you grew up in church like I did, you know, and I might not live it like I should, but you know, I know the ways of God. You're a preacher's kid, and you know, Anton, you know, many times now, you know, I've always just say this slogan, and I say it takes years to build an empire, but it takes 5 minutes to tear it down. And true to form, so many men are tearing down their empire based on temporary pleasure and temporary gain. What's kept you grounded and what drives Anton Daniels?
Honestly, because I don't listen to women. No, I mean, and let me give you a little bit of context. It doesn't mean that I don't listen to them, right? Because I can take into consideration what you say, right? It's just like a kid. Like anybody can give you some insight and information. But my foundation is not based in pleasing other people. It's in making sure that I please a higher.
Hey, that boy is good.
You're now tuned in
You are now tuned into
to the realest show on YouTube with your host, the Angry Man.
Bitch, you broke.
The Angry Man. No explanation is needed.
And being victim of sign language, Angry Man, there could be this. Yeah, it could be witchcraft, you know. And I remember, I don't know who was the brother man that talked about it, but he was talking about how a lot of women now are actually using witchcraft to seduce and to control men. And sign language could be seen as a verbal form of witchcraft, but also it can also be because these men are spellbound. And you know, masculine men can see through that. And you know, I think the Angry Man, because we don't see masculine men anymore. We don't see masculinity personified in power. When masculine men begin to speak and speak with authority, then they will castigate you and say, "Oh, he's mean." The Angry Man is mean because he speaks very vociferously. You know, he speaks with clarity. He speaks with great conviction. But you know, I've never understood why, you know, some folks say, "I love the Lord and I love Jesus," but Jesus spoke with great authority. When he saw the woman at the well, he said, "Go and sin no more." He didn't say, "Woman, stop sinning." He said, "Go and sin no more," because he was a masculine man. But we live in a time where fatherhood is so devoid of seeing true heteronormative masculinity. Many men sexuality, but also masculinity have been arrested. And many times the angry man, they won't talk about it many times in clinical sessions. Many don't advocate for the love and the stewardship of men. And I had a situation where a young man said, I was thinking about getting another therapist because he said that, you're too masculine. I was like, too masculine? What do you mean? but they're not used to it, man. I know because I'm a big dude, but we're not used to seeing men be men anymore. And it's time for men to corral together, lay aside a lot of differences. We're not going to agree on all philosophy. We're not going to agree on all ideologies, and that's okay. I don't argue with men on their worldviews. If that's your worldview, that's your worldview. I respect it. I might not agree with it, but I can respect your worldview. But we got to come together as allies of a common cause and get to the core issue, white men, black men, all men, because there is a crisis, the angry man in heteronormative masculinity. So we're going to go more deep into this conversation. We're going to get into the rabbit hole because
it is the one and the only Sir Hell speaks in the building.
Clubs or women that are really not the best quality women, and you just want to hit it for the night. When you get them pregnant, you are going to deal with some consequences, and you can't be surprised by what happens to you when you didn't vet that woman and you say, damn, I didn't know she was. Man, I can't tell you how many cats I've seen go in barbershops over the years who were like, I didn't know she was this crazy. I met her at the club. Well, wait, what happened here? You hitting up women like this? So the culture that we have today, Sir Hale, and I asked you this one time before, I said this one time before, brothers, and we said this before, we should stop having sex with women who do not qualify to us. And if men can be accountable, as well as women,
I told my son,
for who we lay in the bed with, and maybe choose better and be a man and stop letting your physical urges rule you as a man, maybe, just maybe, we could change some things around, and the women that are out there thotting it up and twerking it up that are not the women that we want, they won't get our attention because we're not sleeping with them. We're not knocking them up. Now, I know we don't live in that type of world, but I'm just saying that's how we have to conduct ourselves. Men don't lay down with women like this.
You get a hand clap.
And thank you, Sir Hill. That's all I wanted to say.
And listen, Carl Reed from one of the greatest gospel groups of all times, Commission and Faith, because spirituality is part of mental health. And I get it why so many black men have a strong aversion towards the church. I get it. I get it 100%. I know why brothers shut down, because they see the fakeness. They see the hypocrisy. They see the bishops swindling money and lying to men.
Yes.
And some of them sleeping with the women. And
I've struggled with this a lot. Kosher, I'm going to be honest with you, man.
The talent.
I've been forced from
Also,
a young age to really thrive to be the absolute best in any situation. You know what I mean? And that has cultivated in me the feeling that I feel like, I'm better than everybody when I walk in the room. And that's not necessarily a healthy way to be, whether it's true or not, because you can learn from people that are on your level, above your level, and below your level.
Right.
But when you have that air of arrogance, it makes it hard to listen and to learn. So what I do now is I embrace humility, man. And I force myself to surround myself with people that are better than me. When we did the show on my channel a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the book, The Dichotomy of Leadership.
Right.
And leaders know when to speak and when to listen. And I'll tell you, when I get around you, man, I know that I need to be listening, man, because you're so deep with so many things that, it's something else. So a lot of humility. Life has shown me that even though I may, do some good things and stuff like that, that I'm honestly really know better than anybody else. Right. And that's helped me a lot, man. So I really embrace humility now, when it calls for it.
When it calls for it, right. And it's an ongoing struggle. But the thing about the ego, Wapo, is that the ego can be a vice or it can be a virtue. I want you to talk about, based on your recollection, how you feel that the ego can be a virtue instead of a vice?
Man, so the flip side of that is, and we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago as well, is I think that we as Black men really need to make sure that we're doing what it takes to know our worth in this world, in this society, in this country, and definitely within our Black community. And there is a healthy side of ego, understanding your self-worth and being proud of who you are and what you've done, what you've
as it relates to learning how to broker power in relationships. You talk about a term called relationship capitalism. And tell the audience what that means to you. And while it appears that in these modern times, there's a such thing called relationship inflation, because, you know, many expect more than what they're willing to give. So what say you about this whole concept called relationship capitalism?
I think it has to do with men putting themselves in the best situations to be successful. That means you're not limiting your option. You're making the best option for yourself, irregardless of what people think. You're not tunnel vision. You're not locked in to dating this type of woman or that type of woman. You work hard and you become the best version of yourself. Whatever woman that you choose or somebody you choose to be in a relationship should be somebody who adds value to your life.
Right.
And I don't believe in relationship welfare, where you're just dating women just because they're a part of a certain community, or you only date Black women or whatever. If that's your preference, so be it. The problem is that you have to put yourself in a situation where you're celebrated versus whether you're tolerated, and you have to put yourself in a situation where women of value have to compete for you, are competitive, and want your masculine presence.
Right.
You're not limiting yourself, because the biggest issue you have here is a lot of men don't value themselves, especially in the Black community. They've been raised by a lot of single moms. You know, they think their mentality is more egalitarian in how they approach women. They think they have to bend over backwards when they're providing provision, protection, security, and maintenance to women. And that is a very valuable thing, especially in countries that
who can compare to the Honorable BJS Itmore.
There's very few guys that come into MGTOW that never had a girlfriend. There's some, but they're very few. You know, the guys that are MGTOWs that never had experience with women or never had girlfriends are guys that seen their brothers, their uncles, their fathers get divorced, raped, get their kids taken from them, have to sleep in their cars because they're paying child support. And then they get scared and said, I don't want to live that life. Those are the guys that may be MGTOW or maybe red pilled, not because of their own experience, but because what they've seen people in front of them go through. But those are actually a very small group. In fact, there's some married guys that are actually red pilled.
Right. I'm one of them. I'm married, but I see it for what it is, man. You know, I don't. You know, like I said, my background, was very conservative, and so, I grew up with the velvet colored glass of rose-colored glasses that Tia Son Johnson talked about, or the velvet colored painting. And like I said, I knew women had game. I mean, I wasn't stupid. But when you really look within the minutia and see it for what it is, it can be very perplexing, to say the least.
I'll say most MGTOWs, most red pill guys are very well read,
right?
Extremely well read and extremely knowledgeable. And a lot of them are actually very well traveled.
Shout out to Dr. Dunder, the intelligent and scholastic brother.
That's how the first one went down. But it's a tough thing. But I can speak at length about the sexual alienation. I mean, it's just I mean, it's such a raw deal because there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. I mean, I'm a religious man, and so not only would I wouldn't have wanted to step out, but then also, I'm not wired that way. I'm a one woman kind of guy. That's how I've always been. And so that being the case, it's like you're stuck. So if she's saying no, then, You know, and I'm like in my 20s, man. And it's like that was hardcore, man. That was really rough situation.
Well, you know, guys, you know, as a clinical therapist, I try to look at things through what I call the biopsychosocial spiritual model. But I came up with two terms. You know, I didn't create the term called simping, but one of the most fiercest men on YouTube, the Blizzard King, Dennis Sperling.
In the United States.
Right.
So my question then is, by what metric are you saying black men are failing? Because that's basically what they're saying. What metric? We are overrepresented in the military. At this point, we have more black men in college than in prison. Where's the metric by which you're measuring that black men are failing? That's the question. Let's analyze that. You've come to the conclusion, your opinion is, and this is for the naysayers and those who perpetuate these negative stereotypes, you've concluded that we're failing. Where? Show me where.
Excellent point. Shout out to my man Gregory Scott before that $9 super sticker. He said salute to Kosher and Dennis Sperling, two of the most powerful black content creators in this space. Unapologetically masculine advocates of men. Don't allow females to come on and become disrupted. I appreciate it, Gregory Scott, and thank you, sir. You know, Dennis, you and I started this journey a little bit about 2 years ago when I was doing the Manhood Chronicles, and I am a licensed therapist from the greatest state in the union, the Tar Heel State. I've always respected you from afar. I used to listen to your content on Facebook, and I said, you know, Dennis is doing a yeoman's work when it comes down to male advocacy. But many times, many don't speak, Dennis, unapologetically masculine. Many actually sequester their speech for sake of ridicule. But you have done something that's transcend and more or less is synonymous to men in the past. You speak your mind. You speak it unapologetically. And you said something, Dennis Sperling, that was counterintuitive to what Kevin Samuel said. You say, I'm not here to save black women. I'm here to save myself. Mm-hmm. What's the passion behind that? And to your critics that might say Dennis Sperling hate black women, what would you say to that criticism?
Well, Kevin Samuels grew up in a nice home.
Who can compare to the scholar and Mr. Dre from Love Crossing Borders?
Mm-hmm. When white guys were doing it, there was no major social media to do it. They could do it and just say, Mom and Dad, I'm going off to Europe and I'm going to find myself. And there was no social media. The most that we got was a couple of movies made was, this college kid goes to Europe, or that college kid goes to Europe. Those type of movies goes to Europe. But that was the only thing that we were getting. But there was nobody that was overseeing or criticizing what they were doing, because you could never prove it, because there was very little video footage of it. But now our movement is taking place right under the eyes of everybody. Everybody can watch and see what takes place, the good, the bad, or the ugly. So what's taking place now, what's making it problematic, is not just we're scrutinized under the umbrellas or the cameras and lights of social media, but most of the people that criticize us try to find micro moments or micro excuses. I'm going to say that again. Micro moments. Something happened bad to one brother, and they think that all brothers.
Right.
Micro moment. They'll say something happened. A brother paid for play. Oh, all brothers are doing that. They take micro moments. And try to make it seem like that's the macro blueprint that we're seeing.
Yes, sir.
Austin's blueprint is
newcomer Dallas D, an advocate for males and male empowerment.
Be like the fruit of Islam, man. I'm gonna be your private contractor, man. I like that fire you got, man. I love your energy.
My prices go up next year, so.
she told y'all she about that money, man. But Dallas, I'm gonna ask you another question. Black men get overgeneralized with negativity. When did that happen, in your opinion?
It's America. It's always happened. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think you can point it back to one particular moment in time. I think it's just always happened. Right.
But you and I, when we were in school, we were kids, it seemed like it's gotten worse. Is that fair to say, in your opinion?
Yeah, I do. Well, you know what? I take that back. I don't know if it's gotten worse or social media has allowed us to see it at a more global standpoint. Because before, like, okay, now you have the conversation. You know, one of my hot topics is child support, welfare reform, and all that.
Right.
So before, all of these stories were happening before. It's just that they were always one-off stories. You heard about a couple of stories in your neighborhood, or maybe you knew about a cousin or uncle that went through it. But now we're seeing it on a global scale. And it's not just that it's happening to Black men. It's not just that it's happening to men in America. It's happening across the country. So I don't know if it's that it's gotten worse, or that it's now being televised, and now we get to see everything because of social media. It has exposed everything, and now we have access to big data. Because what we're looking at now are the trends.
You know what I mean? Like, what, you know, I
The
remember
travel
you asked me before, I
OG.
said, "Nah, I'm good now, bro." I
And
said,
Hollywood
because when I asked you,
extraordinaire.
you know, when I needed it, you didn't want to help me. I said, now you want to help me. I said, plus, you know, you got a lot of ego with what you say. You know what he told me? It was the funniest shit in the world. He said, my ego got an ego.
Well, at least
I ain't never heard that. Excuse my cough, I'm getting over a cold.
No, you fine. Let me show
He
you this
said,
real
my
quick.
ego got
They don't come no more genuine than LAR movement. Shout out to him.
That kind of just, I kind of like, y'all playing.
Right.
You know, so for me, it hardened me to that aspect of it, because the human experience, everybody's gonna deal with something that they're gonna have to overcome. But the other thing about it is, ultimately, is
shout out to Ike, the intellect. Gets no better than him either.
Willing to make a deal. So that aspect, and also in terms of the training, that the cultivation that continues to not only emphasize but reward this narrative, right? And the social network of, you know, a strong extended family network that makes sure that these kinds of things continue. A network, especially the network amongst women, right? Because they're the ones that will enforce these normative things as to what a woman should do.
The intellectual, Brazil Yeesh.
Knowledge from what I read, but yeah, all of that is true. So when you have a separation of stuff as children up into adulthood, you have that you're missing, and it's all a part of your formation and your stages of growth. So if you don't have that in your stages of growth, you're going to miss that out. You're going to miss out on it. You're going to miss out on the
Shout out to Shalakimia Moffett, the prophetess.
It's a defense mechanism, so they don't have to take responsibility for how we act.
Right. And it's definitely a defense mechanism, an ego defense mechanism called minimization. Some of it, Shalakimia, is something called displaced aggression, where they target their aggression and pain to the target that did not cause them the pain in the first place.
Coach Parnell Smith, the advocate for males and paternity fraud.
More money than the women do because we take on jobs, duties, trades, and etc., where we work longer hours. We do the things, and like especially in STEM, like science, technology, engineering, math. These are male-dominated fields, but also carpentry, the military, firefighters, police officers. Now, I don't know about you.
Right?
The
So I started to kind of unbecome so I could become.
Yes. Oh, it makes a lot of sense. I did a show with my dear friend Chantel Simone, and I said the becoming. And, you know, as masculinity, Avery, it's a series of hills and valleys, victory and failure. We're not born men, we're born males, but we become men.
The very feminine and traditional Luke Hazley
have built this incredible society for us. So my focus is we need to get back on appreciating what they've done for us, what they are doing for us, and what they will continue doing for us. But we need to appreciate what, you know, who they are, and their strength on being masculine and providing for the families and maintaining society.
Fire for your mind. The Kosher Clinician.
If If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues, absent fathers who miss you, mama drama don't kiss you, all a part of the ritual, this is how they get you, separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to, damn, lovers, haters acting like vultures, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen.
I don't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing. Peaceful life.
Hey, salute to you, brother. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't hear Kosher. Can you hear him?
He probably on mute.
He might be muted, yeah. Because I hear you fine.
Kosher.
Peaceful life for the pounding. At least we can hear each other. Peaceful life. You gonna talk about them pounding you?
Man, I'm trying to book a flight to Thailand to come see you. That's what I'm trying to do, man.
As you
I was just looking at flights out, man. My team lost, so no March Madness for me. So I'm trying to book you, man. Yeah, I don't have to worry about going to the tournament.
You better bring your tall ass out here. Kosher Clinician, we can't hear you, brother. We see the little cute little hat you got on for your little 7,000. Congratulations. You might not be able to hear. We can't hear you, but let you know, brother. I'm here to celebrate. Let my brother know his thing. The Jesse Jackson of YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies, I gotta learn how to do the Kosher Clinician. I'm gonna try to learn like what does it tell you? What does that speak to you, brother? You know what I mean? I'm trying to learn
for your mind.
Fire. And you will get this work. You know what I mean? Kosher let you know. Kosher don't even look at the camera when you say, like, yeah, I'm 6'7", 585 pounds, man. You get this work. Kosher no. Kosher want to put hands and feet and elbows and knees on a couple people. You understand me? And I don't blame him. You understand me?
Oh, man. Shoot.
It's all good. I got to send Coach Clinician a love gift too. Look at y'all done dropped in showing love gifts. Peace for Life came in with a congrats. Oh, you got Brandon L. Jett in the house? Oh, it's a wrap. Brandon L. Jett is like the James Brown
party. Yeah, we got everybody here for a party tonight, man.
He bust a move, and it's over. Can't nobody follow up behind that. You know what I mean? You can't hear us either. We hear you.
We hear you. Yeah.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. You gotta make sure your mic is plugged up. Something might be unplugged. What do you got going on there?
I know it's you because we heard the intro. That intro was cold, boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How you making out tonight, man? I mean, In the morning, you're in the morning. Thailand,
morning,
right?
Sunday morning here. It's 8 a.m. Sunday morning. I got to do my live stream in a couple hours, but I had to come by and see KC first. Matter of fact, let me drop down a love offer. Let me see, because now I got my. It was hard for me to send.
Yeah, that's why I squeezed one in real quick.
Yeah. How do you? Let me see. Can you do that from you? I guess I got to do it from my other. Let me see.
Yeah, I had to go pull up another screen. I pull up another screen. I sent it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, man.
He out.
So
So we must
he's trying to come back in.
Take the show over, man. Me and Richie about to take the show.
That's right. It's gonna be a peaceful Zoom. We're gonna call it a peaceful Zoom in a minute.
It's gonna be a peaceful Zoom in a little bit, as soon as I get myself situated to cross this ocean.
I can't wait till you get out here, brother. You ain't gonna want to leave though, man. A lot of y'all ain't gonna want to leave. You're gonna be like,
yeah, I gotta find me a spot, get everything set up, man. So
I got you. Let me know what you need, brother. I'll help you. You family. I will definitely help.
Yeah, we can't get this dude. He all mute over here. He got the hat on. He's
ready for it too. You know what I mean?
Huh?
Kosher got to pay his bill. Kosher, you got to pay your microphone bill, man.
Probably his microphone is too expensive.
That's what it is.
You got to come down.
I'm gonna read.
That's what happens when you buy rich people stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He got an airplane. He don't know how to fly it yet. Sower of Seed is trying to help you out. James Turner. Now we know he's not in the greatest state. Oh man,
I know, right?
A kosher roasting session. Let me see. I bet that super chat though work. I bet that work, Kosher Clinician. Hey,
do something. Get it. We send another super chat or something. Get him a new mic. And I'm just telling you.
Right. We're gonna get it right.
Oh,
on here. All right, let me see. Kosher Clinician didn't pay his bill. Kosher Clinician didn't pay his bill. I can't even tell you how good the intro was by Baz because we can't hear you respond. Coach Condition hit me up this morning. Like, yeah, man, that intro fire. That intro
it's fire. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I told him I'm lightweight jealous, man. That should have been a Zoom in Thailand song, man. Coach Conditioner swiped my musician, swiped the what's his face, flew down, and now his audio don't work.
Man, it's crazy.
7,777 y'all. That's a good number. Coach Condition, I know that's a good number. You know what you should do, Coach? You should just sign languages. You know what I mean? Hit it with some sign. Yeah, no, we ain't hearing shit.
No, we ain't hearing nothing, man.
Yeah. We ain't hearing shit, KC. You know what you should, you got a Mac or a PC? Put 1 for Mac, 2 for PC. You got a Mac or a PC? You got a PC? Okay, I was gonna tell you to go into your settings, but it's weird because the intro worked, so the sound worked. It got to be in your microphone, so it has to be that cute little brand new microphone you got. Let me see. How do I get to the Kosher Clinician from this other one?
Yeah,
he trying to dip out and come back.
Yeah, that worked. Hey man, I've been watching your Thailand versus Colombia versus everybody Brazil battles, man. You guys make it hard, man. To it's hard, man. Like be like with your passport like this, like you know what I mean. Where do you go? Which way? You know,
right?
It's like some compelling arguments, man. I'll be like, what? I mean, like I can't like, you know, what's that guy, that superhero character that can separate himself into 3 different places? What's his name?
Not Doctor Strange.
Who? Yeah, Doctor Strange or whatever his name is. I don't know what he is.
You can do that? I didn't know that.
That blue character. Yeah, I can't be in all these places at once, man.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see what we got here. I ain't even up dressed yet, man. I did it to get the Kosher's thing. I'm about to send him a little love chat. Super chat. What I want? Super chat? Yeah, let me get him right. Here's for congratulations and a new microphone.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the point of the verses. The point is to have fun and educate people at the same time. But pound for pound, there's no place on this earth that's gonna beat Thailand. Pound for pound.
You know they watching, right?
It's just not. So they know. If you've been watching them, everybody done got this work. Everybody done got it. I took out the DR. I took out Colombia. Dre tried to act like he didn't know. I took out the Philippines. We got part 2 on that. And in fairness to Dre, he did win part 2 on his channel, but then we were supposed to do a part 3, and he was a no-show. So so that's a win. That is a win. He conceded the win.
I think where Thailand smokes everybody is in terms of it's starting to get in terms of cost, peace, safety, infrastructure. That's where you got like you know what I mean? Like it's hard to beat that, man. It's like especially when you're talking about safety and infrastructure. That's a tough, especially for guys like, you know, Gen Xers, you know, so we just looking to chill we've been married before, we've been divorced, we've raised kids. Dudes is just looking for a corner of the universe to have peace.
And that's the thing, like, who's going to beat safety and peace of mind? Like, no country's going to beat that. That's how I know I'm going to win. That's how I whoop on everybody.
When you play the peace card, it's hard, man. You know?
Yeah, you can't beat that, man. It's like, and safety, I can go to the ATM any time of night. So whenever they throw at me the beautiful women, that's why we have so many categories, because everybody shines in a different light in a different area. So it's like but ain't nothing gonna be better than a man's peace of mind and the service he gets. It's just not going.
Especially when you're tall like me, you know, you walking down the street at night, they can't miss me with a brick. So I got, you know. You know what I mean? You dudes can dodge, you know what I mean? They can't miss me. Brick hit me right upside the head, you know. I'm like, damn, that big mom. They got like 5 dudes jump me and shit. Like, hey, yo, what's going on? Rob this big ass dude.
Now, who's taller out of you and KC? Who's taller out of you and KC? Are you guys both the same height?
I got him by about, you know, maybe 2 and 3 inches. I don't know, but he's pretty. Kosher is pretty tall, man. He's pretty tall dude. You know what I mean? But it still don't matter. But because that's what shows too. You know, men of all heights, all sizes, all economic backgrounds are doing similar things.
Right.
Which is, you know, a good representation of the brotherhood. You know, it is what it is, regardless of what they say.
Right. Hey, you know, Beautiful Lies and stepped in here now. You know, you got
Guapo come heavy, man. He's a heavy hitter.
Hey, Guapo is running up the numbers now, boy. He got him a little editing team. Guap, I need to borrow some of those guys, man. I'm burnt out trying to do all this by myself. Guap is running it up. I love what he's doing. He's also one of the most generous people, man. You know what I mean? Like, Guap, I dropped my little 50, man, and now you got me looking halfway cheap now.
Guapo make us look like we slipping over there. I don't know what we got to do, man.
Buying houses, having babies, and can still drop 100 piece on you. Meanwhile, Kosher Clinician is still over there fumbling with the sound.
Right. We're gonna take this. We don't need him. Box him out, man. Box him out.
Yeah.
Can't get it.
I just get my Kosher Clinician imitation. You know what I mean?
Box him out of his own show. Let's box him out.
Here we go. So this is what happens when you're trying to give a knowledge to the people. You know, they have the things that'll fumble you and make you think, you know, is this the right situation to go in? Is this the way it's meant to go for us, for our happiness, for us, for our life? What are you doing the best thing moving forward? That's what you need to have. But before you have any of that to move forward, you have to have sound. You know, because if you can't hear, you can't hear. You understand? So,
well, Richie, I see that this sound thing is a reflection of a schema affliction that he may be having over there in North Carolina, and perhaps he needs to zoom to Thailand.
He will zoom to Thailand, but it's a Freudian slip. You know, when you come from your mother, sometimes you try to talk and the words won't come out because these slips. Or white knights or these type of people coming in and they'll take the sound from you. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the hat that's doing this to him. I don't know what it is, but he over there though. He here. See, now he trying to talk. You know what you could do, Kosher Clinician? Call me on my phone like you did earlier, and I'll give you the sound that way. Well, call me on the phone. Call me on the phone. We're gonna see what's going on because that beautiful microphone you got, it ain't working. It ain't hitting. So let's see.
You know, Richie, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher.
It ain't kosher.
It ain't kosher. It ain't right. And the microphone ain't kosher.
Guess what I got on the phone, y'all? I got a special guest. I got the Kosher Condition coming in. Special Kosher Condition. What you got to say here, man?
You need to get Guapo up here, man.
what you got to say, Kosher Condition?
Hey, Guapo, we need to get you in here on this rose. That microphone ain't kosher, man. That's why it ain't right.
Special shout out to my man, Dre for Love Crossing Borders. $100,000 pesos. I don't know what that is. What's that? 50 or 100?
That's about $8.50.
Right. See, Dre have these numbers. You don't know what Dre be saying.
Crazy. I know. I'm like, damn, Dre, he balling.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man James Turner for the 9. He said,
but Dre, you know, so funny about Dre, man. Sometimes sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night, right?
Wait. Kosher's talking. Can you hear him? Because Kosher's talking through the phone. We got. Can you hear him? Peaceful Life. I hear you. I didn't know Peaceful Life could hear you. Y'all was talking over each other.
I can hear him.
All right, go ahead, brother.
So shout out to James Turner. He said, looking forward to the next 20,000. That's 5 for your mind as long as you stop singing. Man, the head is strong.
It's funny.
That kosher voice, man. That Ted the Pendergrass voice. Shout out to my man, Brandon Jett. He said tonight's therapy celebration. Congrats on 777 subs at the Kosher Commission. I appreciate it. Shout out to Miss He Said, She Said, thank you. I appreciate it, sis. Shout out to my brother, Peace for Life. Man, Peace for Life, be having some serious conversations on the back end, man. That's
He's like my therapist. That's what he is. But he ends up giving me scheme afflictions. I'm still recovering. But hey, don't get this dude no deep conversations, Richie. He put some stuff in your head. He twisted around. Have your ass up all night long, sweating, thinking about that, man. Mess you all up because you can twist your mind up too.
He had me where I couldn't even finish an episode. We got into a biblical discussion, and we was going back and forth. It was done with so much respect. Usually, a lot of times, biblical discussions can get out of hand. People get emotional. Coach is like, you know, we kept it gangster and got our points out and respected and did what we had to do. But Coach, you want to finish reading off these super chats?
Yes, sir, I am.
You got the queen in the building. You got the queen of soul in the building. Just so you know, my YouTube wife. Yeah, Roberta Flack. That's right. We got Roberta Flack.
Gail at night. Gail Knight be having that big beautiful afro and stuff, man. Man, brothers be checking it out, right? What's going on with Gail? Oh, natural, you know.
I'm looking for 10,000 for August. You've been too valuable to the Black and general manosphere, especially being consistent proponent for men traveling. No doubt, man. I appreciate you being consistent. Richie Mack and also my brother, Peace for Life. I appreciate it. Shout out to Wynton Brown. He said, keep it kosher. No doubt. Shout out to my man Guapo. That's my brother, always showing love. The first brother I met when I was abroad. He said, beautiful lives. Congrats, Kosher on the 7K. Good brother, man. Big heart.
Well, I got to do my beautiful lies invitation. I got to do my beautiful lies invitation. I got to do my beautiful lies. Shout out to the Kosher Clinician. I got to find some big words. Aesthetically speaking, if you flatulate your liquids, you'll find that the paramours that the paramours are illogical when it comes to substantiating.
Well, he'd be like this. Well, ladies, I'm not saying that particular and that all ladies are prostitutes, but in this particular situation, based on the facts, and when I read this book and I've studied these, whatever, it's just obvious that this particular individual has certain signs and behaviors that resemble, you just break it down to
He'll be like your reckless abandon. Your reckless abandon has you fighting on two fronts. You're fighting on two fronts. You heathen you.
Right.
And once in a while, you hear close. He'll slip and say some ghetto words from Baltimore, but most of the time his vernacular is crazy. So you know,
He'll call it something like this heathenistic behavior of these ladies. You know, now dudes got to go like, what does hedonistic really mean? You know what I mean? You got to break out your thesaurus and stuff. And he done offended everybody. Nobody like 2 weeks later, you figure out Guapo done offended you. Like was Guapo being insulting? And then you up there looking through Webster dictionary trying to figure out what Guapo be talking about. Yeah, it insulted you. There you go.
Must be the squirrel with a bat. I don't know what he's going on, but I appreciate it, Brother Rich.
Absolutely,
man. I gotta come down to Thailand with you and Guapo and Ingram, man, so we can chop it up. And shout out to my beautiful sister, Gail at night.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
On my channel, she was a clarion caller, and she's always been there for me. And I ain't got nothing but love for that sister, man. Nothing but love for that sister. Anything she need, I got her. Like Roy Orbison, man. So, girl say, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. Congrats on the seven, no doubt. Much love to that sister. I love her to death. Thank you. Appreciate it. Shout out to the good brother, Andrew Baker, always showing love. He said, congrats, my brother. You have a subscriber for life. Keep up the good work. And that's what it's all about.
That's what I'm saying.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, sir. And to everybody else that's been tuning in, man, you know, shout out to the good therapist, my man, Edward Fields the Fourth. And guys, if you guys haven't gotten his book, if you've been emasculated, go get his book by Edward Fields the Fourth. If you've been emasculated, go check it out.
Have you been distressed or perplexed? Emasculated. A book written by Edward Fields IV. Everything that needs to be known about men in modern time. Listen, men are not complex. They are misunderstood and unappreciated. Learn what men really feel, think, and desire. Also observe their struggle for acceptance, love, and belonging. A must read for every man in this classic book by Edward Fields IV. Emasculated. Go get your copy now.
Shout out to Redefining Vibe. She's the one, guys, that edited that for me. If you guys need help with editing, she can help you out, especially that particular edit. So she's a good sister. Congrats to her and her marriage. And the sister I respect 100%. Can you guys hear me now?
We hear you on my phone. We hear you on my Thailand phone. I'm talking to you from Thailand. And my sound from Thailand is giving you sound in the US.
See, I got my $5 mic right here. It works. You see, this is my dollar store mic, and it's working. That's what happens when you got the expensive equipment. You see, I get the stuff that's, you know, not complicated. You know what I mean?
I can hear you.
You're able to talk. I'm gonna shut my computer down and I'm gonna reboot.
I thought that's what you was doing a couple of times. You could do that. Yeah, do that. Do that. Shut your computer down. And meanwhile, we're gonna fly this plane for you.
Right.
I'm gonna let. I got Gail at night. Stop showing your phone screen. Oh yeah, Gail get on me about that. That's my YouTube wife. I can't. Gail is also head of security. The moderator, the woman with the beautiful Africa, and head of security. Gail don't play around, and she my YouTube wife.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, man.
Gail be able to causing some fights up in here. Gail's got all the intel on every. Gail's like I would say she's the point guard for the team, I guess.
Point guard and the bodyguard.
And the bodyguard, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Gail is no joke. And the MVP.
Right. Look at Kosher. You said Kosher like frozen that smile. He's like,
he stay right there, Coach. Stay right there, bro. That's a great shot of you right there. Somebody screenshot that right there. I'm gonna read some of these Western names for Kosher because I see some people tapping in. Brandon L. Jet, you are the James Brown of YouTube. When you drop something, the whole world stops, man. Can't nobody. There's only on Lee's channel though, Brandon. You got some competition on Lee's channel. They be dropping some heat bombs.
Woo. Yeah, that's serious right there, man.
James Turner said, if it ain't kosher, there is no mic. If there's no sound, there is no show. Yeah, you are right. Unless you got the Ingram experience and Richie Mack in the building, we're going to hold this brother up till he gets it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
You know, kosher to call in the stream yard and talk. Oh, Gail. Yeah, well, you should talk to Gail. Gail will fix the shit. And she's also a mechanic. Gail is the YouTube mechanic. She'll help you fix it. Brandon Jets, Brandon say fight back.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Boom. Guess who stepped in the room?
With my swag on. Took a look in the mirror, said, what's up? Yeah, Kosher's getting money. What's up, A Peaceful Life? What's up, Richie Mack?
Hey, what's the salute, brother? What's going on, man?
Salute and salutations. I hear y'all. Look, I hear y'all. Pow, pow, pow. I hear y'all.
But we can't hear Kosher, though. We can't hear Kosher. That's the funniest shit of it all.
Listen, he's the man, and he's the show for Kosher. What's up, Kosher? Congrats, my man.
I
know it, brother. I know it. Yo, let me tell you, can I say something? Can I have a mic for, man? I have
absolutely.
Go ahead, man.
You can't talk right now. Wait, Guap, when Guap gets to the mic, yeah, there you go. Let him live. Go on, Guap.
Appreciate it. Listen, let me get 30 seconds of grace, y'all. My man, Kosher Clinician, is so far ahead of his time, and this is not any disingenuous false admiration. This is actually real. When I first met him in Brazil and he introduced me to Al Grease, which ended up being one of the most beneficial link-ups, conversations, connections that I have made in the country. You know what I mean? Because I was blessed to be a part of Frustrated 3 with the Kosher Clinician. He was such a genuine dude, man. Now, is he eclectic? Absolutely. Is that brother ahead of the game to the point that he's probably misunderstood? For sure. But here's the truth, man. Kosher is spitting game that is so next level that I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, a lot of cats are not ready for it. And I appreciate the work that you've done. And I'm telling you, Kosh, that stuff is going to pay off in spades in the very near future, because you have helped so many men through their trials and tribulations. And I'm eternally grateful for it. So I know that Richie Mack and A Peaceful Life want to make jokes, and El Guapo talks crazy, and then the Baltimore comes out of me doing all kinds of stuff. Like, I get it. I know. But I'm trying to do better, y'all. I'm trying. It's 2023, you know, and I'm trying to improve me in 2023. I know black people like alliteration. How's that? So there you go. But yo, what's good, Coach? What's up with the mic, man?
Yeah. Hey, Coach, bring me up. I gotta respond. I gotta respond to El Guapo. Can I get a solo cam for El Guapo?
Oh, snap. Here we go.
Can I get a solo? Okay, thank you, my brother. Guap, I gotta tell you, brother, you are just like class personified. I say this all the time, even though we make fun, but dude, I wish I was an orator, had the skills that you have as an orator, bro. Like the way you break things down and just make it make sense. Even stupid people like me can understand, even when you use difficult words, because the way you conjugate sentences, it just always makes sense, bro. I'm happy for you. Happy you had your kid, your little El Guapito. Happy you're happy. I'm happy that your channel is like going, because Guap is next up. Guap is next up. I don't know what Guap. I didn't check your numbers, but I know you getting up there. Man, I'm so happy for you and all of you guys, man. Kosher Clinician, I know you have a microphone issues, but when you got Guap on the mic, it's a wrap. You can bring me down now. I just want to just say that. Look him in the eye and tell him, man to man. I love to look people in the eye, man to man, and tell them how much I care about them and appreciate them, because we don't tomorrow's not promising nobody. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. You dig. I'm cool. You can take me on solo camera.
I love that.
Hey,
listen,
Rick,
I don't know if y'all can hear me, but
Kosher.
salute to the goatee.
They're gonna keep you on the big cam, Rich.
I understand what that means, Richie Mack. You know what I'm saying?
hey, Rich.
Yeah. Y'all don't know. Richie Mack, look. OG, triple OG. Y'all don't understand who y'all messing with, man.
Hey.
But yo, Kosher be killing the game, man. Look, and I'm a big dude. A Peaceful Life, you're taller than Kosher Clinician for real?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dog, I'm 6'2" when I look up to Kosher Clinician. He's got like 3-4 inches on me. You got to be what, like 6'8", 6'9"?
Well, 6'7", 6'8", yeah, somewhere around there.
Good God, bro.
Oh, we,
Well,
that's
that
what I'm
makes
saying. Like,
Genetically superior.
That makes me a dwarf amongst men.
Hey,
You're
that's
not a
what
dwarf,
that's
man.
what
Listen,
that's what's so unique about it.
You know what you got, Richie Mack? You got what's called leverage. That's leverage, homeboy. You know, that's what do you call center of gravity? You know what I'm saying? You good to go, bruh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm happy.
Ty,
what's up, Ty? What's going on, bro? We just
What's going on, brothers?
How you doing, man?
I'm waiting for Coach to get his mic up. He's been talking about this 777 show all week.
Right.
And now the show start and his mic don't work. He don't record.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
I'm glad you serenaded Guapo too, man, because I was thinking to myself, man, if I ever needed a public relations guy, like if I had a public relations nightmare, like you caught me coming out some $20 motel with hookers and stuff, and everybody's like, peaceful lives, we got him. They got him in a sting. I'm calling Guapo. He's gonna talk me out of that. Well, he was really not really participating in or soliciting these ladies. He was there on a missionary mission. You know what I mean? Like by the time we get done talking, I'll be looking like a saint, like I was over there to rescue those hookers.
You know, it's funny, man. I was talking to LeBeya, and I was like, you know, I would consider running for political office now, even with my sordid past. You know what I'm saying? I could see being the governor of the great state of Maryland. You know, all it is my parents paid for me to go to the school with the white Hasidic Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? And I learned how to code switch real well. So, you know, even though the perception of a peaceful life coming out of that motel room with vacancy for the evening,
I was a missionary. Go ahead.
Yeah, initially appear that he was doing some disingenuous and uncouth things. The fact of the matter is he was sacrificing his time and his energy to minister and to help those that were in need of guidance. And some of those young women may have been of ill repute. Nonetheless, he was willing to take his time and his energy to ensure that they were moving in the right direction towards a rebirth, a renaissance of their own life, so that they could come forth and be a phoenix and an example for women to come. And you don't understand the sacrifice that a peaceful life had to make. It's so easy from the outside looking in for you to judge, but I dare you to hold yourself to the same standard that you're trying to hold my friend a peaceful life to. I'm telling you, I'm ready for politics.
Hey, Guapo, when are you going to give me the creed to start the fake crying? I'll start crying about me starting
like this. I'll be like, yo, come on, man. Like that.
Hey, you guys, I hate to interrupt you.
Y'all. I'm still here. Hang tight. I got to drop off. Hang on one second.
Okay, the man of the hour has been trying to talk, and he can't hear us. So, Kosher Clinician, we listening to you, brother. Go ahead. We got through my phone, yes.
Through your phone?
Yeah.
All right, hold on, Rich. Rich, I'm gonna hang you up for a minute.
You sure?
I'll call you back.
Because we're gonna lose you.
I'll call you right back. I'm trying to test something.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to test the Bluetooth.
Okay. Right.
Hang on for a minute, Rich.
Okay. All right. So Ty, I guess you're gonna have to wait to give him your speech because he's over here. Go out. I mean, Kosher, say something, man. Say. Oh,
you're gonna try to log on from his phone. See if that works.
Yeah, that probably work.
Yeah, he can do that if he calls into his own show. He can probably talk that way.
That works.
Yeah, but I got to get ready to roll, bro. Coach, no. Coach Clinician's like, you only gonna need to be on for a few minutes, man. Just come up and say something. I said, all right, no problem.
Now you're here hosting the show.
That was 45 minutes.
What is it? Let me see. It's like 8:31 in the morning in Thailand, right, Rich?
Yes, it's Sunday morning. It's easy like Sunday morning out here. Ty, when you coming to Thailand, bro? I can tell by that having that shirt. You done been a few places.
Well, I'm holding it down here in the States, brother. You know what I mean? Somebody got to hold down the fort while y'all out traveling all over the country, all over the world. You know what I mean? I got to hold it down. have true representation for the brothers here in the States. You know what I mean?
Okay. Do you, baby? Do you? I ain't mad at you, man.
For real.
I'm not mad at you. Because you take one trip and you're done. You're gonna lose all that religion when you're done. When you leave, when you see, it's a whole different world, brother. It is a whole different world. But salute to you for holding it down at home, bro. I appreciate that.
For sure.
Coach Clinician, now he's talking into his own phone. Nah, bro. You Coach Clinician, can you call into your show from your phone? Add yourself, go backstage on your own phone, and then talk from there. That way you'll get
another guest. You can just have the audio play. And we can see
if I would just unplug the soundboard and go with the natural sound out of his computer. But I guess he's trying to be fancy dancy. You understand?
Well, when you pay like $20,000 for a mic, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
you got to have a warranty on that, brother. That ain't good. That ain't good for you, brother. If you was sponsored, this is a sponsored show, and you start the show like this, you gonna drop those numbers and all that. That ain't good.
I see it's off. It's on. This thing is on mute too. Hey, can you take it off of mute? You got it on mute.
You got to take your mute button off of your StreamYard. Take the mute button off.
Take your mute button off your StreamYard. There you go.
What about now? Nah, you just as muted as before.
It's the
I wonder if it's the stream.
Or could it be the earpiece? Can you remove your earpiece for a little bit? Or make sure your earpiece is plugged all the way in.
That brother has tried everything.
Everything twice. Tried everything twice already.
He turned off the computer. It's something to do with his soundboard, because when he played his intro, we heard it clear. We heard it loud and clear. Something in his mic.
We can't hear him through.
I don't know who he's calling.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I hear echo because I'm speaking through my earpods.
Yeah. Kosher, man, I got to get ready to do my show, man. I gotta work on my intros. I have a nice one like yours, brother. But I love you, man. Congratulations on 777. We're gonna be at 8 by the time we get done with here. We're gonna be done 779 right now. Let's get Kosher up to 8 racks, y'all. 8 racks. Y'all don't know how hard it is to do this, man, to get these numbers, because we have no control over it. You know what I mean? It's up to you guys supporting, and it don't cost nothing to hit the like button. You dig?
Hey, shout out to my man, D-May. Appreciate it, brother Rich.
D-May in the building. Can you hear us, D-May? Because you can't hear Kosher. I'll read it for Kosher.
Yeah. Go ahead, Richie.
I'm gonna do it in the Kosher Clinician. Shout out to my 2 favorite brothers, Kosher Clinician and Zoom to Thailand. If it wasn't for you guys, I'd be in the United States lost. Richard Mack, I'll be home in June. See you soon. Yes, sir. Once you come once, you can't help yourself. Shout out to D-May, my man. Appreciate you, man. Make sure y'all, thank you for that $9.99. We're gonna help Kosher get a real microphone, you guys. That's what we're doing. So whatever y'all send, make sure y'all sending y'all donations, because Kosher Clinician can get a real microphone that works.
Hey, Rich.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna send you my contact. Let me see.
Kosher got all the information.
Okay.
If you need to get me, you can get it straight to Kosher Clinician, and we will, whatever you need from me. Shout out to James Turner. I also met James 32 Kosher Clinician. Kosher Clinician will put people together. That's another good thing. That's what producers do. He will make an excellent producer in Hollywood because he knows how to talk to people. He knows how to.
How about now, guys?
Hey!
It was about time, man. I had to go into my computer setting, man. It was on mute, man. I apologize, guys.
You think?
I apologize, man. Come on, man. Richard trying to stone the ground, man. You know I'm a 5-star recruit, man. I'm a McDonald's All-American, man.
You know what I don't get, though? I don't get how you turned your computer off and it stayed on mute, though. That it should have reset itself to the original thing. Yeah. I don't know how.
Well, this computer that I got, I was telling anyone this computer about $3,000, man. So I kicked out a lot of money. This computer, it's a lot of money, man. My whole setup is 10 stacks, man.
Yeah, well, hey, shit. That young name's your
like
microphone.
I said, Richie. Yeah, I said. Remember, I said It's expensive over there, man. It's expensive over there.
Yes, sir, it is.
So listen, bro, Rich. That's my homeboy, Tommy. That's my homie, man. You know, this dude inspired me, man, to push forward. Tom was talking that shit, man. So I say, oh man, Tom, I remember I had like 55 subs. Tom was laughing. He was like, yo, man, you only got like 5 cents from your YouTube. And I was mad as hell. I got you, man. I was like, I got you. Ever since then, man, I said, I'm coming for your last, man. He started laughing. He never fired me, man. Guapo, man, I love this brother. Guapo's like a brother, man, I've been known for my whole life, man. Extremely.
I appreciate that, man.
Stereotypes. And Guapo's the kind of brother, man. You know, he's Guapo, you know.
Oh, wait, now you glitching. You glitching.
Your
Not
mic
glitching.
is going in and out, Kosher.
Yeah, we had catching every other word.
You know, hear me now?
Yeah,
we can hear you, but it's like
yeah.
that like that.
All right, hey, Guapo, I want you to check out this intro, man. It got some swag to it.
Let's do it.
This Leo swag. This Leo swag, man. That's that Leo swag. Time that's sting, man. That's that Leo swag. Check it out, man, for you guys, man.
Fire! Kosher clinician.
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters, acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
That's that Leo swag, man. That's that Leo swag.
Yo, who did the vocals for that? That's awesome, man.
I'll tell you the background, man. You know, you gonna always get the hook up. I'll tell you the background.
Well done, man.
That's that Leo
Where
swag,
Richie Rack
man.
at, man? Richie Rack was in here clowning your boy. I was going to clap back. I'm just joking.
Wait. He disappeared, man. Richie, come on back, man. You don't need to go.
Yeah. He said he had to drop off, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, man. You know, Guapo stand-up brother, man. Like I said, I met Guapo when I was in Brazil. Kind brother, man. Very affable. You know, kind brother. You ain't gonna find there's a lot of fake guys on YouTube, man, but you ain't gonna find a more genuine brother than this brother, man. One of the kindest brothers. You know, like I said, man, I feel like I know his cat for life, man. You know, we've been on the sunny shores of Brazil, the Rio de Janeiro, Copacabana, and you ain't gonna meet a more genuine brother than this brother, man. So I gotta listen, man. I'm gonna have to pay you some money, man. I'm gonna start my new thing as a therapist, man. I'm gonna.
Nah, you don't owe me nothing, man.
Listen, I'm gonna get your master class, man.
Can I say this real fast, Kosher? Here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know how protective I am of my family. There's a reason I've never brought my wife up here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason y'all haven't seen my son. You know, Kosher Clinician is like the only content creator that has ever met my wife. You know what I'm saying? And had a conversation with her and everything like that, man. So that means a lot, man. So you say I'm genuine, man, but the simple fact that, you know, you got to meet her shows what I actually think about you, brother.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. I
there
really.
You go. Now your mic sounds good.
Now your mic is good.
Oh yeah. I had to get it right, man. I had to get it right. And listen, it don't get no better than this sister right here, Gail at Night, man. I got nothing but love for Gail. Got nothing but love for Gail at Night, man. Gail at Night showed me a lot of love. Showed me a lot of love. Can y'all hear that?
You got the number right, because you are talking.
Can y'all hear that? And shout out to Gail at Night, man. You know, I love that sister, man. You know, I remember when I had like 55 subs when I went on with O'Shea, and then Gail always, you know, from the lead attorney, would push the narrative and show love, man. And I got nothing but love for Gail. Gail, how would you like to add to the conversation this 7K celebration? Because if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. How would you like to add to the conversation, sweetie?
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher.
No doubt.
If it ain't kosher, it ain't right.
Go ahead, sweetie. Talk to the people.
Yeah, I'm in the car now, headed back to the house. I was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be at home a whole lot earlier than this so I can catch you.
Oh no, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the time you putting in. I appreciate it. I really appreciate everything you've done, sweetie. You've been so kind, and like Jaheim said, you can have anything you need from me. Just let me know. I got you.
All right, likewise, same here.
No doubt. You're a sister for life. I respect you highly. But Ty, you know, we started this conversation a while ago, Ty. You know, you and I was on the Manhood Chronicles. Guapo, Ty was one of my original brothers. You know, we started a series on Facebook called the Manhood Chronicles. And, you know, Ty, why is mental health so important, man? And also, Ty is a relationship coach. And, you know, he got that Leo swag like, man, he's a Leo too. So, you know, us fire signs.
Tell me where you got that hat. Tell me where you got that hat from, brother.
Oh, I got it from Brooklyn. Ty hooked me up with the hat, man. I got it from Brooklyn, man. So Ty, talk to the people, man. Why are these conversations so important? And what have you learned from our conversations in the past? What have you learned?
Yeah, so you know, I'll tell you guys how I met Kosher, right? So he was in a Black therapist group, Facebook group, and somehow he got himself caught up in some conversation with some ladies, and they wasn't really feeling him too much. and I was a moderator in that group, right? Even though I wasn't really doing stuff, I was a moderator in that group, and I came in and somebody wanted me to boot him or put him in check, and I started to read the information that he was putting out there, and I was like, "No, the brother's right. He's right. What he's saying is he's speaking the truth." And I started to defend him, and they didn't think I was going to do that. And from that point, him and I became friends. And then he started the Manhood Chronicles. You know, he was like, you know, there's a lot of spaces where men really can't speak their mind. They can't say what they need to say, especially in these professional spaces. So he started the Manhood Chronicles, and I was one of the first people that was on his show several times, you know. And then he came with the YouTube channel. And like I said, I clowned him. And the reason why I clowned him is because I'm also a Leo. And I know what happens if somebody clowns.
Wait, hold on. He's a quarter Leo. I'm the real Leo. He's about 3/4.
I was gonna bring that in. Here's the thing when it comes to Leos. Right? Here's the thing when you come to Leos. Most people don't really know this, but Leo goes from July to August. Right. It's a small part of July, right? Like maybe the 24th to the end of July, and then it's August to like the 21st. My grandfather was a Leo. My father's a Leo. I have many Leos in my family. My grandfather is also August Leo. All August Leos think July's Leos aren't real Leos. But here's the thing about a Leo. If you clown a Leo, now he got to prove you wrong. So when I started to clown Kosher by his 59 subs, and he gonna get 5 cents in his YouTube check, he was mad as hell. But he keep repeating that story and lit a fire in. Like, I'm gonna show Ty ass.
I'm gonna show you, dog. Don't ever laugh at me. But you know, Guapo's the same way, man. Us fire signs, man. I don't live by the zodiac, but there's a lot of truth to it. But us fire signs, man, we're very fastidious, strong-willed. We ain't gonna quit. Some say we arrogant. You know, I don't know. Maybe we are arrogant, but you know, we ain't gonna stop until we get to the mountaintop, man. And you know, that's what sets us aside from the amateurs, man. We ain't gonna stop until we win. And that's how I am. I'm a winner, man. You know, you don't get my accolades by sitting on the sideline, man. And I give all glory to God and all grace to Him. But I'm a winner and I'm a fighter too. And you know, I stand strong in the brothers that I ride with. I'm genuine. I say what I mean what I say. If I got a problem with you, I tell you to your face. I'll be respectful. But I'm not like some of these sucker MCs, man. You know, a lot of these cats are fake. But it is what it is, you know. But you know how we get down, man. I only roll with the real and the genuine, man. And once I start seeing idiosyncrasies, man, I just fall back and let things play itself out, man. But well, I know you can't stay on long, man. But I gotta listen, man. I'm once I start my therapist job, man, I got a new therapist gig I'm about to start, man. And I'm gonna start paying you some big money, dog.
Man,
I'm gonna start.
Please don't. No, dog. Hey, save it for the 100K, yo.
Okay, I'll save it for the 100K. There, I'll save for the 100K.
Yeah. When we get 100K, man, I want $5.
Oh no, listen, man. When I get the 100K, this is for your little son, man. I'm gonna put a trust up for him, man. I got a little trust for him.
I'm down, man.
I got a trust for him, man. I got a trust.
My dude done taking my wife. Done taking my side of the bed. I ain't never been punked. My boy's done cucked me, man.
He cucked you?
He done cucked me, man. Look, he done took my boobies, all that stuff, man, with his little handsome ass. I'm sick of him.
Right. Yeah. Guapo just had a baby, man. He's a big dude, man.
Yeah,
he's a big boy.
He's 9 pounds 6 ounces now. He's born 8 pounds 10 ounces, so he's getting big, man. But yeah, I am gonna go. I'm gonna take a few minutes and hang out with LaBea. We've
Okay.
been trying to watch this movie. We've been trying to watch a movie for 3 days, man. But I had to come and show some love.
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate
and respect to
No
my
doubt.
main man, the Kosher clinician.
I appreciate
and
it.
all of his team and all of his supporters. Kosher, you are so far ahead of the game that it is going to take a while for the audience that you need to have to catch up to you.
Right.
Because you're spitting like people were joking about the schema of affliction and stuff like that, but that's some deep stuff, man.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
right.
People need to hear it. There's so many folks out here that are dealing with mental health issues and stuff like that, and needing somebody like you to help them bridge the gap so that they can understand themselves and their lives. And I'm just thankful for you to have you in this space.
Likewise, man. Likewise.
Singularly unique, man. There's nobody like you, dude. And I'm thankful to have you, man. So, and you can say I'm blowing sunshine up his behind. Whatever you say, man. I think that we as brothers need to acknowledge the strong work that we're each doing.
No doubt.
So
No
I
doubt.
salute you, and I appreciate you.
Same,
for that,
brother.
Kosher.
No doubt. Much love and blessings, brother. Be well. Thank you, sir.
Take care,
Shout to my YouTube. Shout to my YouTube nephew, Guapito.
So you know, Gail, you know, you started the conversation a while back. Shout out to my man Kevin White for that $10 cash out. Thank you, Kevin. And I want to do the number one sponsor of the stream so far. So far, my man Guapo and Ingram and Richard Mack are the number one sponsors of the stream. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You guys can hear me? All right. And then so shout out to those three venerable brothers. Thank you for the love and the support. Let's do it. Gary, Ingram, I want you to talk about what this space has meant to you and how did you find out about the Kosher Clinician and how has it inspired you to become a better person, a better brother?
Well, actually, I found out by watching, I think I saw you on Guapo, then I saw you Blind Guy and His Wife. I don't know if they still have a YouTube channel, but there was something profound about the things that you were talking about. I'm sorry. Am I unmuted? Okay. What's so profound about the things that you were talking about was that there was not really anybody in this space that were talking with it from a masculine perspective, that were advocating for men. Right. Because most of therapy, especially guys who've gone through counseling, has gone through marriage counseling, has gone through all these things, are very much centered around women, or will always take the side of women. And that's why a lot of men suffer in the dark. Men's issues get pushed to the back burner. So what was powerful about what you're talking about was that you really dialed into men's needs, men's problems, men's issues, and really broke it down from a fundamental level, some of the issues that we're facing, as a society today. So that itself drew me into it, plus, you're talking that fire for your mind. So it's just a unique conversation, a unique perspective, very intellectual, very intelligent, very on point. And I was like, you know what? This brother's got something, that's different, that's unique, that's special. And I was sold. Oh, he lost sound again. Mute. You're on mute.
Rather down from day one, and I appreciate it. Shout out to my man, Big Boss Real Talk. He said, shout out for the 27777. Good man, good brother. Appreciate it, Big Boss. Feel free to come up, brother, if you can. Thank you for the support. He said, shout out to Kosher Clinicians and congrats on the seven subs. You deserve it. All the hard work you put in with the mixed technology savvy. You make the space better. And that's real talk, man. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the love. Right? And that's a deal, right, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Right? Guys, the link has been dropped. If you guys want to come in and add to the conversation, the celebration, I will greatly appreciate it. The link has been dropped. If you come up, you have to show your face. If you don't show your face, you will not be allowed
to come up. You know, Ty, let's talk about the conversation. You know, when we did the Manhood Chronicles in the past, what were some of the topics that you remember us talking about that stuck out a lot and this kept you grounded as it relates to dealing with modern women in modern times?
Well, I mean, we did several shows together. You know, I think when you first started the Manhood Chronicles, I wasn't helping men in their relationships. And I know that when you started the Manhood Chronicles, it was really speaking to young men that were coming up who didn't really have any type of guidance. You know, they didn't have any spaces or places where they can go and have guidance from other masculine men, especially professional men who are helping in therapy. You know, and so I was very happy that you were able to push that narrative and keep it going. You know, one of the most important shows for me that we had was a show that I was on. It was the main show that I did was where we were speaking about how a man improves his image and how that affects how he is improving the type of women that he brings into his life, the type of jobs he goes towards, the type of life he wants to build. And we were speaking to the young men about how your image is more important. It's so important that you have to look at yourself first to identify what you want in your life, you know? So it was conversations like that where it was always the purpose was usually always about helping men be better. Young men, different men, all types of men. And that was the reason why I really enjoyed coming on the show, because it was a platform for me to speak to men as well.
No doubt. No, I totally agree, man. And I appreciate, man, everything you've done thus far. You know, we talk about the evolution of masculinity. When you look at yourself and your evolution, how has Ty Maynard Cutner evolved? And then I'm going to piggyback on my man, Brother Ingram. We're going to talk about the current crisis that we have, relationship capitalism. But go ahead, Ty. How have Ty evolved, and what can you give young men or words of encouragement to help them become the better version of themselves?
Yeah, so you know, since the last time I've been on the show, I've became IFS trained. So IFS is Internal Family Systems, is a psychotherapy model. So I'm trained in that. So I have been helping the guys who are coming through my relationship coaching or through the program with Ed Baxter. And I've been doing one-on-one sessions with them. I've been teaching them IFS so they can understand some ways in which they can unblend or not get so consumed with the anger that they feel from the distrust from the relationship. You know, so I'm helping guys who are going through divorce, separation, cheating. When a man is going through that, there's a lot of anger that happens from the wife, the woman that they're with. You know, I've had some guys who've been in relationships for 30 something years, and then all of a sudden she wants to change up on them. And there's a lot of anger from that. And I help them remove themselves from that anger. So a lot of the things that I help with men is things that I do myself first, right? I've overcome a lot of things, and these are things that guys are still being affected by. And that's why I came and I became a coach in all these different areas. You know, so as I develop my whole business, I make a living by helping men develop the way I've developed myself.
Right.
You know, so in order for me to be good at what I do, I'm constantly developing, constantly improving myself. You know, I may have a book coming out before the year's up. You know, I've been asked to contribute to an IFS book. So you guys are going to start seeing some stuff like that coming out. I'm going to be producing content and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff in the works, you know, and this guy is people like you, Coach, that I seen you go from not having anything and saying, hey, I'm gonna do this thing, and you did it. And now you out here. You only been on YouTube for what, 2 years now?
2 years, right.
Yeah, and you got to this point. So it's something that when you have something to say and you're feeling a need and you're giving something that people is not really seeing now, like everyone is saying, we didn't have this. We didn't have an actual professional therapist speaking to us, to men. And now we have that. So you felt that void. And I appreciate you for that. I'm also filling voids, and all the brothers who come on the show, you know, are filling some voids somewhere. And I just like seeing men doing their thing. There's not enough. They can duplicate you 15 times and it still won't be enough. Right? We need more black men out here doing what the brothers are doing. So I appreciate that.
No, same here, man. You know, Ingram, you talk about relationship capitalism. And you talk about relationship capitalism as it relates to the current market that you live in. You got a channel called Peaceful Life. Why was that channel so instrumental, and how did some of the ideals that we have actually coalesce together?
Well, what you talk about is mental health, and that ties into the whole aspect of self-care and self-empowerment, because one of the biggest issues we have here in the West is that, like I said before, with men's issues are non-issues. It's everything is centered around women. So you really have to do a lot of pouring into yourself as a man.
Right.
And that's why we always talk about purpose. We always talk about people being on their grind. and it's really a difficult situation, a difficult environment. That's why these spaces like yours are so important, and the brother down here, that's why it's so important what you guys do. But I deal with things more from a manhood, masculinity perspective, and understand why I come up with concepts like nobody takes care of you like you. We talk about relationship capitalism. We talk about the preventative measures and the self-care measures and the things that you have to do as a man to overcome the challenges that you're facing today, because nobody's going to care. Nobody, let's be honest, nobody really cares about your suffering. So how do you take proactive measures to counter the stress, or to put yourself in situations that are going to empower you, where you develop a certain layer of indifference? Not that that's always healthy, because we don't want people to be crazy stoics walking around with no feelings, but we want people to actually understand how to overcome by using coping mechanisms. We talk about getting in the gym. We talk about working out. We talk about eating right. We talk about taking care of your health. And I'll tell the guys right away, I mean, even if I don't feel well on a bad day, if I'm sad or whatever, I still go to the gym. I still hit the park. I still walk. I still exercise. We want to develop healthy routines where guys are not, because you're feeling sad, you're feeling depressed, and you're drinking or you're eating. Some guys, you know, they have a bad day, and next thing you know, they down 10 slices of cake. You know, we don't need anybody getting diabetes. We know that how poisonous sugar is to you. So I really try and push the guys towards positive things that could. So when you're feeling bad, or you're feeling sad, or you're feeling down, redirect yourself towards doing something like going to the gym or eating well. But in terms of relationship capitalism, the problem we have here in the West is that so many men undervalue themselves, especially in the Black community. We're taught to accept a lot of mediocrity and standards because of the way our culture is, because maybe we've been raised by some overpowering big mama type single mom or whatever else. So we take a lot of mediocrity. And what relationship capitalism is, just say, okay, you've done the work as a man. You've worked on these, poured into yourself. But at the end of that rainbow, what is your reward? And no disrespect to anybody else, but it shouldn't be no single mom with multiple kids or some 350-pound Lizzo type. You want to have good rewards. So the problem with our community itself is there's no competition, because they expect Black men to take less. And some brothers have taken some terrible deals. Let's be honest. We have some bad standards with some of the brothers. So the idea is this: it's like we want to apply capitalistic principles to how we date and how we look relationships. Because I always tell brothers to always get the best person for you, regardless. I'm not into this race thing. I'm into the value thing, because no one's going to be living in that house with you. If you get into a relationship with a demon, it's going to be your ass in that house suffering. So you better pick the really good woman to be in a relationship with. But the problem is that if there's no competition, then you're not going to get the best value for yourself as a man. That's why men in the West are so undervalued. So I came up with a concept and apply capitalistic principle and create a relationship market or dating market where the globe is your market. Because I refuse to go back to any business that offered me poor customer service. That means that you don't value yourself. There's no self-respect, and you're accepting a level of mediocrity. So it's about competition. And I'm happy that Black men are getting into competition. And I'm happy that the dating and relationship market is global. And just as we have to compete as men and develop ourselves as men, and we don't feel like we're entitled to have a quality woman in our life. Women should not feel like they're entitled to have a quality man without bringing value to the table. So that's why I came up with that term.
But I appreciate it, Dre. I had to make sure, man. We had some weirdos come up. We had some weirdos come up the last time, man, and trying to disrupt what we're trying to do. And Ingram, that was dynamite, man. I appreciate it.
You got the number right, because you are talking to kid a dynamite.
But so how does that answer the conversation, Dre?
Dynamite, pure dynamite.
But first of all, get a hat. What's going on with the hat? I gotta ask about the hat. I mean,
man, y'all know how many hats I got.
That's damn. What's that? What's
Man,
that
I got
guy's
so many
name?
hats on the wall.
the elephant in the room, Coach. You didn't see that hat? He got cards.
It's dope, man. What's that guy's name? On the X-Men, be doing the Gambit. That's Gambit. That's Gambit.
Oh my God.
Gambit.
So I was trying to add to the conversation, Dre, and how this channel has been instrumental, man. And thank you for the love, man. I appreciate it.
The thing that everyone's been saying is exactly. It looks like I'm frozen a little bit. Let me know if I'm freezing. But everything everybody's saying is parallel to what I've been thinking about your channel, Culture. Is this? When I first started hearing you, it wasn't that you were on somebody else's platform. I came across you on your own platform,
right?
And I just realized that there's only one brother that's out there talking about some of the psychological issues that men are dealing with, especially men of color that are dealing with. And so that's what caught my eye in regards to your platform. Was you were one of the few guys that actually took the time out to say, well, let me step out here and see if what I'm interested in sharing would other men be interested in hearing. And I'm telling you, man, and what it was 100% correct, man. You are light years ahead of your subscriber count.
Right.
I kid you not. I could easily see you hitting 100,000. There are certain subscribers at certain channels. I've been in this long enough to know when somebody got that it factor, that factor like you have, that factor like the Ace Lives, the Richie Max, the One Master Teachers. You see certain characteristics in these individuals or a niche that they hit. The lead attorney is not a coincidence. And as men find out more about your platform and we realize we don't have too many other places to go to, if any, that's what's going to continue to cause you to grow rapidly, man. You have really brought the table of YouTube that's really been in demand. A lot of black, that's I know I'm sounding like I'm babbling, but I'm sitting back thinking about you and Kevin Samuels. His birthday is next week.
Right.
Thinking about the fact that, thanks, babe. Gotta love the hot tea from the wife. And I'm thinking about, how many men gravitated to Kevin due to how he was talking about some of the psychological issues that men were dealing with women.
Right.
So it is with you having that ability to talk about guys. You pull the curtains back. That's what you do. That's one of the things that you have mastered when it comes to the mindset of men. You really pull the curtains back and cause us to say there's nothing wrong with talking about counseling, talking about therapy, talking about whatever it is that needs to get our minds back on track. And so I appreciate that about you, brother. I don't have nothing but love for you. And my favorite show that was the show that we did in regards to our, to be the men that they need to be. Sometimes you'll find men that are overcompensating. And so I think I'm freezing. True. Yeah, I am free.
Right.
And but I appreciate you, man. I appreciate every time I see one of the guests. I'm always that's what see me chat in the middle of doing something, but at the end of the day, I really appreciate all that you do, man. Continue to do what you're
likewise.
Doing. You're gonna hit that 10,000 real soon. I kid you not. And I tell you, what people don't know about his work.
Yeah, you're breaking up. Dre, I'm gonna move you around, dog. Brother Allen, how would you like to add to the conversation?
I appreciate you because
likewise, brother.
I'm the average working black man out here, and I found you on your channel, like Dre said, and when you hit with a concepts like egocentria, I was like, what is this? I'm the average dude, but I had to stop. You brought peaceful life, and he was like, yeah, relationship capitalism. I'm like, oh, it gets deeper.
Right, it gets deeper, right.
I ain't got a whole lot of time, but I just want to give you your flowers. Big brother, thank you. I appreciate all the information you put out there into the manosphere, into these spaces, because we need it. And you are ahead of your time, sir. You are.
Right. I appreciate it.
It's amazing the amount of information that you've disseminated to regular dudes like me. Now
I appreciate it, man. It's a struggle, man. It's a struggle, man, because I'm like, damn, I put in all this work sometime. But I appreciate it, man. Comments like yours make it worth the effort, man. But I appreciate it.
Good sir, you changed the trajectory of my life with your words.
Appreciate it, man.
With your words. Knowledge and information that you put out there will be valued for years. Like so I have to get ready for a whole nother show or whatever, but I just want to say straight up, I appreciate you, man.
No doubt, man. Likewise, man. And do me a favor, share the stream, man. You like the work I do, share the stream, man. And whenever you can, donate to help support, because I kick out a lot of money in this equipment, man. A lot of this equipment I got, man. This computer that you're looking at, like I said, it's $3,000 computer, man. So I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir. Thank you, man. Much love and blessings.
Hey, Coach, I'm gonna have to run out. I have to run out in a minute.
Okay, man. I'm not going to be long. Gail, I'm going to ask you a question, dear. You are an advocate for men and male empowerment. What made you come to the space, Gail? And what was so profound about the things that I said? Because you played a key role in helping me grow. And what was it about? What was it about me, and also your desire for male empowerment?
Yeah, well, a couple of things, because we're all in the same spaces as far as listening to these content creators and panels on relationships and advice and how they're back and forth. And I always felt like they were like speaking on surface level. And it appears to me that they're not really have the conversation about mental health, because brother, I think his name in the bottom right, Ty, I think he was. He's a coach.
Ty. Ty's a coach.
And that's amazing, because the thing with the excuse me, I would think the key, or at least a beginning, the best way to start is to teach men how to control their anger. And I'm saying that because I know a lot of very manipulative women.
Right.
And one woman can ruin your entire life. So first, controlling your anger, and I understand it. Not saying, I think the thing we need to learn how to do is, instead of trying to shame and stop being so feminine, stop being, why are you raising it? It's just listen, be quiet for a minute and listen.
Right.
And because the thing is, yeah, they shouldn't raise their voice, or yeah, they shouldn't do this, that. But the best way we can do it, as women, is understand why they are acting this way and reacting this way and saying these things.
Right.
Rather than shaming them for doing and saying and acting, And so that's why I said more is important, your field, because that's the core. We're talking on surface level about why women can't do this, why they can't do that, why they can't. Most of us have come from a broken home. We don't know who our fathers are. So all the stuff we have to deal with, we haven't even worked on that part before we talk about meeting a woman or a man. That's why it's so important to me. Right. And again, I'm the story of my father. I'm learning who my father is after he's been dead over 20 years. And I didn't get to know him. I didn't meet him until I was 15. But then when I turned 18, he had passed away. And so even today, at the age of 43, I'm learning who my father was. And I'm learning what my father would want from me. And so my decisions I make in life are based on what my father would say, how would my father, react, or what would be his opinion on the way I carry myself, or how I speak.
Right.
And so it's so much, like just starting with the mental health part. If we really are serious about getting help and getting the results we want as men and women, we got to start right here. But we don't want to do it because it's ugly. It can be, let it be ugly. You know what I'm saying? Let it be ugly. And then at the end of the day, you get what you want. You get the results you need, and they have a healthy relationship and healthy families.
No doubt. No, you're right, sis. And I appreciate everything you've done. Todd, talk about internal family systems. That's a treatment model. And I'm going to get in at some point. But Gil talked about something that was very profound. How does internal family systems help men uncover their parts so that they can be relevant as it relates to relationships?
Yeah, so internal family system stands for the internal family system, IFS. So internal family, basically the basic premise is that we are a collection of parts, that it's not just one mind, that the mind is a multiplicity by nature, right? There's not one me, there's multiples of me. So when, for example, when a man is going through a situation with his woman and he's pissed off. So I'll give you an example. I coach guys every Tuesday who are going through situations. Some of these guys, most of these guys are very successful to even be able to hire a coach, right? And so one of the gentlemen, he's working on $1 million project. He's an engineer. His wife cheated on him. They have 2 kids. He's out the house. He has his own place. But the way that she was treating him was like as if all the stuff that he did for her didn't matter. All the trips that he took her on, all of the he's a pilot, so he fly his own planes on their vacation, right? He has a helicopter company, right? All these great things, and he's so pissed off. So and this is the 3rd week in a row he came on a call pissed off. So I told him, as long as you are stuck in that part of you that is pissed, you can't gain access to the part of you that's an engineer to solve the problem. So let's see if we can ask that part of you that's pissed off to step back a bit, so you can allow other parts of you to come in that can solve the problem. And right on that call, and it was like a 5-10 minute conversation, he was able to allow that part to step back, and you can visually see him his body changing. He get more relaxed and come up with the solution. Now that he has the solution, he doesn't have to be pissed off all the time, which is affecting his ability to succeed at his job, right? So internal family systems allow us to see and have a new relationship with that anger, that fear, that worry. And you end up realizing in the IFS session, you end up realizing that those parts of you that are angry are very young. They're kid parts, 8-year-old that was abandoned by their mom, right? You know, they didn't have the family they want to have. And a lot of times us men get into relationships and the feeling of family and the feeling of being with a woman feels like the same feeling that we got from our mom, that we didn't get enough of, or we didn't get enough in our family. So we try to attach ourselves, or at least that part of us try to attach ourselves to that relationship. And what IFS allows you to do is go inside and love yourself, right? Give yourself that love, right? Because the self doesn't get hurt, doesn't get banished. It's the parts that get banished. So in internal family systems, you're allowed to do some great creative things. And that's what I teach the guys on my calls.
Are you frozen, Dre? Are you frozen? You're not frozen. Okay, cool. Shout out to my man, a man supporting men. We're going to sign off in a minute. I really appreciate it. Anybody else want to come on, y'all can pop in. Shout out to my man supporting the man for the 3. But Dre, you know, one of the things, Dre, real quick, you and I both grew up in the Church of God in Christ, man. And
shorten that a bit. I think it's a little too long, brother.
I know that's a long one. He got the whole episode.
I'm ready to show it, man.
I was waiting for the film to respond.
Wait, commercial break. Wait for the commercial to come on.
Damn commercial break. Yeah, I'm ready to show it. I'm ready to show it, man. Yeah, it's a little long. I'm ready to show it, man. But you know, the passport movement. We done some killer shows with the passport movement, man.
Oh yeah.
But before we start, men are leaving Babylon. Ingram's about to leave Babylon. But Ty got a woman. A lot of men are leaving Babylon and they're going to Zion. I want you guys to check out this clip. This is for Brother Dre, and this is from the great late Bishop Charles E. Williams. Hold tight.
Then said he unto me,
Then the Lord said unto me,
Prophesy unto the wind.
Preach unto the wind.
Prophesy, son of man.
Preach, son of man.
And say to the wind.
And say to the wind.
Thus saith the Lord God.
Thus saith the Lord God.
Come from the 4 winds.
Come from the north, south, east, and west.
O breath.
O breath.
And breathe upon these slain.
And breathe upon these dead bodies.
That they may live.
That they may live.
So I prophesied as he commanded me.
So I preached as the Lord commanded me.
And the breath came into them.
And breath came into them.
And they lived.
And they lived.
And stood up upon their feet.
And they stood upon their feet.
An exceeding great army.
An exceeding great army.
That wind, and preach to the east wind, and preach to the west wind, and tell the wind to blow on these bodies. And the preacher started preaching, said all winds, all 4 winds, said blow on these bodies that they may live. And when the preachers start preaching, the wind start blowing, and all of those dead bodies, they came alive. The Bible said, and they stood up on their feet, an exceeding great army. But I heard the preacher said to them, you've been here long enough. You've been down in Babylon long enough. You've been dead and dry long enough. You've been separated long enough. Now let's come out of this valley. Let's go back to Zion. I heard them say, follow me. It's time now for a new beginning. Enough is enough. It's time for a new beginning. Come on and follow me. I heard them singing, and they started to Jerusalem. We are marching to Zion.
The men are marching through Zion, man. That was the late, great Bishop Charles D. Williams. That's a powerful brother, man. Bishop Charles D. Williams inspired me. What do you think about that, man? You know, freedom. You saw the birds singing, and you saw the dry bones come to life. You felt it.
You know what? There's a lot of things I know I ain't seen on this planet.
Right.
I got it. I ain't been everywhere. Certain things I never thought I would ever see. I never thought I would see zombies and an eagle on the same platform. I'm just putting it out there. I'm learning some things today, Kosher. I'm learning some things.
Well, the zombie symbolized death. And, you know, men are dying in Babylon. So consistent with Ezekiel, can these dry bones live? And so the eagle symbolizes freedom and fidelity. And so basically, men are leaving Babylon. They're going to Zion. They're getting the passports. So that's how it ties in.
Thank you for giving me clarity, because I got to sleep on this now. Now I'm sleeping in zombies and fighting eagles and back and forth for at least till tomorrow morning.
Right.
So, okay, but in all sincerity, one of the things that we try to do on our platform is just like you brothers are holding down the states when it comes to black men and men in general, getting themselves mentally prepared to live the rest of their lives in whatever capacity they're going to be living it in as far as going after their goals. Right. Same thing that I try to do when it comes to, if you're going to be crossing these borders, if you're going to be crossing to these other countries, there's a mindset that you need to have. You can't be Pookie and Ray Ray. It's not just, I often say it's not just add water. You guys often say, oh, I want a wife like yours. Dude, okay, they're out here, but it's not like in the States where you always feel like you just add water and your goal just needs to be, it can be accomplished easily. So when it comes to, like you said, some people come with the dry bones. Some people come with not realizing that I'm going to define my way, Kosher. Mm-hmm. Some dudes might come to try to leave the United States, but they still zombies. Mm-hmm. They really are. Right. But at the end of the day, because they've been impacted by Babylon, they really have been. Right. And they've been, or that version of the America's new version of the Roman Empire. They've been impacted by it, but they don't realize it. Mm-hmm. And so they think they can fly like the eagle. Mm-hmm. They think they could be, I can do what Ace Live has done. I could do what Austin Holloman has done. Because they think with the just add water mentality. Right. And that's one of the most problematic things that happen. And then they come over here and bring that zombie mentality over to these other countries, and they end up on news headlines. So one of the things that we try to do is prepare the guys to be psychologically aware before they get on that plane. Okay, you got to, like I always say, bring your 5 C's. Bring your common sense, bring your clothes, bring your cash, bring your condoms, bring your colognes. Mm-hmm. But the key is bring your common sense. Right. Because if you aren't accustomed to using it in the States, woe unto the man that doesn't use common sense in another country. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the things that we try to do when it comes to preparing guys for that exodus of using their passports for the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time. Mm-hmm. And it will amaze you how many men, it's just like what the one brother was saying with the millionaire. I've done consultations with guys that are well off as well. And it's amazing how it's not the money. They're happy about that they're successful in their career, but them themselves have still got some things that they need to work on. Like while I was listening to the brother's story, I'm thinking to myself about why did this man choose this particular woman or type of woman to be his wife that cheated on him? And then he'd have to ignore that to continue on going after his goals. And I'm meeting dudes that's like extremely well off in the United States, and they are so depressed, so unhappy, or so lost to say, Dre, I cannot be in this country too much longer. I can't take it. And you're looking at these dudes, that they're 7-8 figure dudes. You're like, how you can? But then you start to understand that every man still has a battle within him that he's still dealing with. And so that's why when I'm doing consultations, before we even talk about transportations and Airbnbs and all this thing, I want to know the psyche of this dude, and is he mentally prepared to travel the way that he wants to travel? Because if you can't make it in the States and walk a straight line, don't think you're going to use a passport and all of a sudden you're going to start walking a straight line. That's the same behavior patterns will follow you to other countries.
No, I totally agree. Ty, you got closing comments? Hold tight. Shout out to my man MC Recovering Wellness. He said, here's my late registration fee. Y'all looking like OGs wearing that hat. Love Crossing Borders got his car shock head on. No doubt. I appreciate it. That's a deal, right?
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
All right. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I just want to show my appreciation to all the people who, those subscribers who subscribed and stayed on. Back in the day when I was clowning on Kosher about him having those 59 subscribers, he would be on the phone with me for an hour and a half talking about he lost 2 subscribers, talking about how much they don't want to hear the truth and they're not ready for that 5 for their mind and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to appreciate those 7,000, 77, man. You're gonna be 77,000 soon. I want to appreciate everybody who come on your platform, who allowed you on their shows. You know what I mean? You've been my brother for. It's been like 5-6 years now. We've been on. We've been rocking with each other. You know what I mean? So I like seeing the growth. I like seeing everybody come and support you, brother. And I think somebody asked if I have a YouTube channel. The only time you're really gonna see me on YouTube is here with his brother, man. You can search me on YouTube. You may see me on some other platforms, but for the most part, I'm here, helping out the Kosher.
That's what's
right. Well, I appreciate it, Coach. I mean, anytime you get ready, man, you can come back through. Chantel's gonna come through in a minute. Sure. Ty, I'm gonna see you around, man. Thank you, brother.
Peace, brother. Peace.
All right, and Drake, we gotta get Ingram up to Columbia, man.
I heard what he said. I was in the car driving. I heard what he said, holding it down the stakes. Richie Mack is right. Once he make that first trip, listen, it's gonna be so many tears shed in customs on the way back to the United States. Ain't gonna be no more that my country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Ain't none of that gonna be going on no more. He gonna forget the national anthem. He gonna be missing words and everything, misquoting words of the national anthem back in the States. It's gonna be totally different. Apple pie ain't gonna taste the same. Hot dogs won't taste the same once he take his first true trip outside the United States.
When you heard it said, Ingram, he said, "Man, once you get abroad, man, you ain't gonna be the same." Especially
I was listening. I was listening the whole time you guys didn't see me. I was still watching the show, so I heard when Richie was on, when all the other guys were on. So yeah, definitely. Especially when your mic wasn't working. Come on, Coach.
Especially when you get to Cali. When he get to Cali, he gonna lose his mind.
Oh yeah, these Cali curves down here gonna work his nerves. You're gonna be calling back, put your mama on the phone. Calling back the kids, put your mama on the phone.
You know, Dre, you talked about having to overcome a lot of things mentally before you got your wife. Your greatest hurdle besides being a workaholic would be what?
Mine was everything from habitual procrastination to easily distracted to discouragement. Sometimes you go after a goal, it doesn't work. You go after it again, it doesn't work. You feel a little discouraged about it. So I was letting discouragement, distractions, complacency. You get so comfortable. I'm living in Florida. I got the convertible. I got the big truck. I got the nice house. So you become complacent in life. You think because you got certain things, because America teach you to follow materialism as you grade yourself. How are you materially? And then you find out look at that woman right there.
Oh yeah,
there she go right there. And you find out that at the end of the day that I had all the material things, but there was still some things that I had to uncover. I wasn't unhappy. I couldn't have been somebody. There was no way in the world without counseling. And that's why I'm such an advocate for men to get counseling. There was no way in the world, I could have traveled these countries with a healthy mindset. And B, I would have been the husband that I am today without counseling. There was no way I could have done it. I had to get some stuff out, find out about some things, find out about addictive behavior disorders in my family. So now I know why I'm such a workaholic, why I'm such this, I'm such that. And so I'm like, okay, now I know when I see certain behavior patterns, how to control that or maneuver away from it because of counseling.
No doubt. Chantel Simone, I call her the exalted lioness. Me and Ingram, we're going to have to get security for Chantel. But thank you, dear, for being so kind. I love you and your work. How's this show been instrumental to you and also evolving as a woman?
Oh gosh, I didn't even know that was the question that we were asking. I was just on my stream and I decided to just hop over. But no, your platform is definitely necessary. As I've told you many times, unlike the other platforms that just talk, like, not to say that they aren't impactful and necessary, but you're coming from a professional standpoint. Like, you're able to dissect the issues, the mental health issue that we have in the community. And it's being manifested based on in our dating life. Black men and Black women, we're just not getting together. The gender war is it's not a gender war because we feel like we want to be in a gender war. Right. It's a gender war because of our mental issues. No matter why it started, it's here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, your channel definitely is needed in our community. And personally, it has helped me. Both you and your channel has helped me tremendously with like self-awareness and understanding why I do what I do. Because I think, as Andre was just saying, he got to the root of his childhood issues as to figure out why he has certain tendencies, why he has certain habits. And it's the same with me. Both you and your channel have allowed me to ask the hard questions, to self-reflect and see things from a different perspective. And we all know I recommend everybody in my personal life to you. Everybody in my personal life to your channel. Right. Yeah. So definitely, so I had to hop on real quick to celebrate with you.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't know if you've seen that. You ain't seen that fire intro, have you? Have you seen that intro?
No, I didn't see the intro.
Okay, I got to show it to a Dre and Ingram, man. Because she a Leo, man. So you ready for it? You ready for it, Chantel?
I'm ready.
All right, get your fire ready.
Fire! For your mind. The Kosher Clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues, absent fathers who miss you, mama drama don't kiss you, all a part of the ritual, this is how they get you, separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to, damn, lovers, haters acting like vultures, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen.
They ain't ready for that Leo swag, Chantel.
That
they ain't ready for that Leo swag. They ain't ready for it. But you know what I love about Ingram and Dre? Them Leos and Libras are actually good together because fire and air makes a bigger fire. And that's why I love Ingram and Dre so much, because they're intellectuals, man. I love the intellectual flavor. They're good brothers, man. They're genuine. They got good hearts, and they're balanced. And that's why I've done shows, Chantel, and I said I'm going to let Dre take the wheel, and I'll be in the background just writing a thesis, man. I'll be writing a thesis, man. I'll be writing.
Because once Dre started talking, man, you know, I say this is gonna be a whole hour. So I'm in the back. Y'all may not believe it. One time Dre was doing a show. I was doing a show with Dre, and I was creating thumbnails in the back. I said, Dre got it. I said, he got it. So, but you know, Chantel, you know, one of the things Ingram talked about, he talked about a concept called relationship capitalism. And you are an advocate for men traveling abroad using their passports. You've been met with a lot of criticism. Some people trying to judge you because you're from the islands. What do you say to your critics that, which I think is wrong, but they'll judge you and say, well, how can this woman from another country try to tell our men to go abroad? Because I believe in relationship capitalism. Why are you such an ardent supporter for men going where they're celebrated versus not being tolerated?
I think because I'm not selfish. I think a lot of women who will encourage men to stay, even though they're expressing how unhappy they are, they're coming from a place of selfishness. Like, if you can't put yourself in someone's shoes and try to understand why they're making the decision, especially if it's a logical decision, we can admit that the dating market is trash. So why can't we admit the problem, but we don't want to highlight the solution, which the solution is men leaving the current dating market. So yeah, I think that's why. So I don't, I don't pay attention to the haters. I mean, all of them are always long titty baby mamas anyways.
Like, well, hey, Kosher, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was just thinking about something too, man. You know, with them saying that Chantel because she's from another place, and I was thinking to myself, man, messing with Chantel Samoon, it's got to be bad business for a lot of sisters that travel to Jamaica. I mean, what if the rude boys down there got pissed off that they're messing with their sister over here in America, and Rude Boy Rentals, they raised the price on Rude Boy Rental 100%. Could you imagine the impact on that? Like, what if the Bahamian brothers join the Jamaican brothers and say, you know what, y'all messing with my sister Chantel Zamel in the States. I tell you what, y'all talking about that now. I tell you what, the prices for you American black women coming down here has just went up 100%. How would they like that? You know, I would leave Chantel Simone alone, be honest with you. That's bad for business. But that's another topic. That's a whole other topic.
It's bad for business.
It's bad for, I would not mess with no Jamaican, no Jamaican woman.
Right.
You know, ragamuffin rude boys get pissed off down there. They raise the price on the rentals. You know what I mean? That's bad for business. I'd leave Chantel alone.
And they're going to keep paying too, no matter what the price is.
And what they ain't going to do, they're not going to shut Chantel up because Chantel is bold. You ain't gonna shut up a Leo. Leo say what they want to say. It gets us in trouble sometimes. But Chantel is bold, so she ain't gonna shut up. The more you try to make her shut up, the more hard she gonna get. Is that true?
Yeah, especially if it's I didn't come at anyone. Right. Like, I mean, every time I find myself in quote unquote beef with someone, I wasn't even paying attention to them. You know, I was just saying. Like for example, in supporting the passport bros, it makes more logical sense because Kevin Samuels highlighted the problem. For 3 years, Kevin Samuels was talking about the dating market. He highlighted how modern women are. A lot of women even admit that, yeah, Kevin Samuels made us aware, myself included. So how on earth are we so against the solution? Like, the math is not mathing if you put it together. So that's why I don't really pay attention to them. I know they're coming from a trigger, as I said, majority of my haters are long titty. Like if you look
Boy. I just love that line.
long titty.
Because he said it with the accent and it just works so well.
Yeah, the accent, man. Yeah, she bring it out with the accent, man. You know, you and I said long. Yeah, go ahead.
How would they survive if they pissed off Jamaica? I mean, like, messing with a Jamaican sister is just bad for business. That you talk about no loving being given out. Them rude boys be like, bumble clot.
But that will require them to think long term.
I'd be like, shoot, you messing with the supply. Because them boats, even Nassau, like even the Bahamas and Jamaica, them boats have been coming in packed.
But it's just like those women who say horrible things about women overseas, and like that one podcast, I think it was Daily Wrap Up Crew, when they're like the woman in Thailand. They're not thinking long term. They're not thinking of how the consequences of what they're saying. They just think they can just talk. So yeah, we don't. I mean, men are still getting their passport no matter what they say. So.
Right. And you know, you would have think that they wouldn't double down and self-reflect, but you know, men needs drive behaviors, and when men are not getting their needs met, they're traveling abroad. You and I talked a lot about femininity and the power of femininity. Women don't understand that femininity is complementary to the psyche of a man. And a show that we did in the past also said, if you protect his six, he'll protect your six. But Chantel, sadly, here in America, the modern woman does not believe in protecting her man, because the way she protects him is through peace and being cooperative and learning how to corral her emotions. What is the biggest pushback you get, dear, when you try to convey to the masses about the importance of being your man's peace?
That he's going to cheat anyways. Like, you know, they always come with that, especially on TikTok. It's never a logical pushback though, because then, you know, I will say, well, date men who don't cheat, choose better men, stop dating the dusty. So they never have a logical pushback. It's like talking to a brick wall. That's why I intentionally changed the my channel's intention to talk to younger girls, like on long titties. The perky titties. I will change my channel to only talk to women who not long titty yet, because I find
Perky girl.
I find that the ones I find that the older ones usually get too triggered and they want to deflect, and they, you know, they want to make an excuse after excuse. But what we talk about on our platforms, it's pretty straightforward. You know, it's pretty logical. If you want the best husband, then become the best you can be. If you want a man that don't cheat, then become qualified for that. It's pretty straightforward. So for people to push back and get triggered, I don't even pay them any mind.
And you know, everything you're saying is true. There was a lady, she was a woman's coach, and she was saying that women over 40 or close to 50 have the most unrealistic expectations when it comes down to men. The self-awareness is lacking, and the lack of development is still there. Jackie Harry, 65, damn near dead, says she don't want a 9-to-5 guy, but you're 65, and I'm sure Jackie Harry got long titties too. Well, long titties. I'm sure she got long titties too, but she don't want a 9-to-5 guy. Ingram and Chantel and Dre.
I love it.
What's y'all take on that?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love, the Bible says that which is in the dark will come to the light. I love when you get a chance to see early what certain people are about without having to spend money on a date, without having to take them to a movie, without, in many cases, you don't even have to be introduced to these people. Just see them on live streams, and the individuals that condone what they do. I love when they expose themselves, because they justify why many of us are getting our passports, or we're dating other type of women than the women that we dated before in the States. Like I said, there are a lot of golden needles in the States. The problem is when it comes to dating in the United States, it's like looking for a golden needle in a barn full of rusty needles. Right. And so you're not going to find your Chantel Simone's as easily as you probably felt that you could do it 10 to 20 years ago. But these ladies are still out there. But when these other ladies expose who they are, it makes it a lot easier for you to sift through the rusty needles to find that golden needle. I love it. I want them to keep talking, because the more that they talk, the more they expose themselves. And it lets us know, okay, I'm not crazy for getting my passport. They confirm it by their behavior patterns, not even my own.
Because I always say, if anything, like the manosphere and, like, you know, Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels should make dating much easier for men. Just ask the woman, like, how do you feel about Kevin Samuels, and just see her reaction. And, you know, you can invite her out on a coffee date and see her reaction, and then, you know, you keep it moving. Like, so yeah, these platforms have made it, as Andre said, just more like easier for y'all to spot the hyenas.
That also disrupts what Chantel does too, is disrupt the rebranding, because with feminism they told women to, focus mostly on their careers and their jobs, enjoy sexual liberation, go out here and sleep with as many men as possible, sow your wild oats, and then when you get to a certain age, there's going to be that guy waiting for you. Or it doesn't matter if you become a single mom or do this with your life. You always maintain your value. And what we see now, what I call the secondary dating markets, which is tragedies of the secondary dating market. That's why you see so many of these women that are going over to Mexico, getting the surgery, or going other places overseas, they're competing with the 25-year-old version of themselves. And when someone like Chantel comes in, or even the Kevin Samuels, and they shine the mirror at these women's faces that are currently probably struggling in the dating market themselves to get the men that they want, it enrages them because they don't see any loss in value. And they think what's between their leg will retain its value, or that's their only value, no matter how old they get, no matter how many times it's used and abused, and whoever they allow in it, they still don't lose any value. So when Chantel talks, it just sets off this rage and this resentment and this anger and this vindictiveness in them. They want her silenced. They want her stopped.
Right.
And even worse is what I call the simp, hyenas. The simp, that simp in that community, he comes in after her too. So you have the male hyena simp coming after him. You have the females coming after him, because the whole idea this totally disrupts the market. Then what guys like you're doing, Kosher, and Andre is doing. So we've thrown the whole market into chaos. And where people have to look in the mirror and say, well, the rebranding that you're trying to do, or you think you can just be Lizzo size and get a good man, or you don't have to put in any work, you don't have to do anything. So men are supposed to look, they're basically trying to lower the bar to the bottom floor for men, because culturally a lot of black men in the community has accepted lower standards. So they're gonna shame your standards down, because it takes work to get on a diet. It takes effort to go to the gym. This is work they don't want to do. It takes work to be disciplined, have a good attitude, or to add value to a relationship. And they don't want to do none of that.
Right. No, they don't. They don't. And what's happened, I'm going to let you guys go, Chantel and Ingram and Dre. Men are becoming indifferent. Men are becoming indifferent. Chantel, briefly, tell the audience, what are you seeing in young men confirming that they're becoming indifferent?
Basically just I think when Kevin came out, went viral, men were more willing to have the conversation, to engage, to, for lack of better words, debate. But I find that they're becoming indifferent, meaning like, they just don't care. They're just like going about their business. No amount of shaming, no amount of like backlashing. Like men aren't no longer trying to have women see their perspective anymore. It's been over 3 years, and it's clear, it's obvious that these women aren't willing to understand men's perspective. So they're just, it's either here nor there, but they are gone though. they are there. And it's not only just like getting your passport, but it's also just choosing to not date certain women. So like, even if you do date Western women, it's you're not going to date the combative, the argumentative, the overweight, the big bones, so like they're choosing to set their standard,
right?
And no amount of shaming can stop them.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree, sis. Well, I'm grateful for the conversations we've had. You are a stalwart. I respect you highly. And Chantel, before we leave, Chantel said that I told him, Chantel, they're gonna. Many men said if they're going to get married, they're going to take that last name. So real quick before we sign off, we're going.
So to divorce-proof marriage coaching for that super chat question.
Well, if she wants to ring, she can't have a hyphen in her name. She's gonna be my woman. I don't tolerate that hyphen stuff. If you're gonna be my woman, you're gonna be 100% kosher. You're gonna be 100%. You're gonna be 100% kosher. There ain't gonna be no damn hyphenated. No, you're gonna be 100% kosher. You're gonna be my woman, because I never saw Christ have a hyphen in his name. He was a son of God. It wasn't a hyphen in it. He was God's son. And so if you're going to be on my team, you're going to have to take my whole name, but then if there's a hyphen in your name, then it's going to be a hyphen with responsibilities, because that still suggests that we are egalitarian. So Chantel don't play no games about that hyphen. We ain't going to play no games. One of the things, Chantel, once women see things from a male's perspective, so many young men have been raised by single mothers, Chantel. Sometimes when you're trying to be logic and precision, many times they don't get it as well. Are you beginning to see the illogical or the logical fallacies that a lot of men have as it relates to them being men, but also standing in their rightful place?
Yeah, a lot of men are still, unfortunately, brainwashed by the gynocracy that they have more loyalty to their mom and the community, save the community, than they do to their masculinity. So a lot of men are suppressing their masculinity, and it's easy to spot. I mean, I know when we're in this space, I believe that as a woman, I should be holding women accountable. It's not my place to be holding men accountable. So I don't really talk about the dusties or, the feminine energy men, I call them, that I would come across on my show. But they are out there. There are men who, go for the hyphenated last names. There are men who want to move into their woman's house, drive their woman's car, because they love a strong, independent woman. So they are out there, because I think once you were raised by a single mom, no matter your gender, you do have work to do, because a woman cannot raise a man to be a man. So
yes, ma'am.
A personal red flag for me is a guy who was raised by a single mom but not aware of the consequences of being raised by one.
Right. Because a feminine woman wants a masculine man. Listen, Chantel, thank you, dear. I love you. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for dropping in, and I'm gonna end the stream in a minute. And shout out to Lulu Bean. I really appreciate it, man. Ingram, Dre, we're gonna have to make sure we go down and get some 6-shooters down in the Lone Star State, and make sure we put a hedge of protection around Chantel, man.
That's right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sweetie. Love you.
Love you too.
All right, be good. All right, Ingram, man, we about to sign off, man. Before we sign off, what did you get from the show, starting with you and then Dre? And we're going to end the stream. Thank you, brothers.
Well, the thing we get from this show is the importance and the value that if you've been adding to this space in terms of really focusing on men's mental health, because there's very few, if any, therapists that sees things from a masculine perspective. Everybody's, you talked about it yourself, a lot of these therapists that's why a lot of guys don't even want to go to marriage counseling or any of that stuff, because you talk about these liberal arts educated, liberal environment, college therapists or whatever. And the first thing they do is take a woman's side, and everything becomes your fault as a man. So really, it gives men a different perspective, gives men a place to come, men a place to feel like their needs or their issues are being cared about. So that's the mean thing that, plus, that fire for your mind, that stuff is some deep conversation.
Fire for your mind. Fire for your mind. Kosher mission. Well, when I came up with the concept fire for your mind, it's twofold, and I'm gonna break it down. It means illumination of the mind. Drake talks about how sometimes the darkness can't comprehend the light. That's consistent with the great teacher Jesus. But also in neuroscience, trauma a lot of times will block the brain from receiving light and receiving knowledge. And so a lot of times when there's trauma, the synapses in the brain is not firing. So you need fire for your mind to illuminate the mind. And once the mind becomes illuminated, then you can see things for what it is. And that's the problem, man. Dre, what would you say to the critics, man, that say therapy doesn't work, it's a waste of time, and it's a sham? What would you say to the critics?
I would say, in all sincerity, I wouldn't say anything to them. I would continue to discuss with men that want to hear what you have to say, that want that fire for their mind. I could care less about the critics. I won't even burn energy on on waiting on them, man, because they're gonna come. The larger your platform gets, take it from me, the more the critics are gonna come. So to sit back and worry about what they're talking about, what they're thinking, let them do what they're gonna do. But there are brothers, there are so many masses of men that could use a platform like yours and continue to learn and develop, because what you're doing is you're preparing men to share with the world one of the most, what I often call one of the most needed resources on the planet, and that is healthy masculinity. If men knew how much in demand on a globe, I've done the research, on a global basis, mentally healthy masculine men are in demand around the world, you would not be worrying about what these women in these countries that don't want you or criticize you have to say. You'll be so focused on getting your masculinity healthy, which is what culture is trying to help us do, because that is a natural resource that is in demand around the world. Women are waiting for mentally healthy men to show up at the front door. If the American woman don't want you, don't worry about it. There's a woman in another country that will appreciate your healthy masculinity.
Well, we're gonna have to usher Ingram in to Cali, Columbia, man, and get him a nice one. You know, Ingram is single. I'm married, but we're gonna have to get Ingram a nice, beautiful woman from.
He come down. He ain't going back to the States, man. He gonna be my neighbor.
Yeah, I'm your neighbor.
Hey, the same Ace Live came down here and did the same thing. He said, "I'm gonna be here for 3 days."
You guys got your hats. I got my Cali Columbia hat right here.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
My beach hat, man.
There we go.
I'll start to feel a little lonely, man.
Damn, you look a damn scarecrow, Ingram, with that head on, man.
Damn right. Andre got a hat. You got a hat, man.
I'm just saying, you pull out the Michael Jackson and the Wiz hat.
My head felt empty. Yeah,
I was ready to ease on down the road.
Better than nothing.
Hey man, listen. Before Ingram go to Cali, man, we going to New York. I'm gonna talk with my man Ty, and we're gonna get Ingram swag on point, man. Cause Ingram about 6'8", man, so we gotta make sure he represent, man, when they go down to Cali, man. Cause Ingram tall, so you know the women like him tall, like Ingram, man.
Yes, they do. They love him tall. I'm 6'3", so I can tell you how it is down here. Definitely, they love the tall dudes. You know, the average Colombian is only 5'8", between 5'9" and 5'10". So the average Colombian male is not a tall dude at all. It's nothing to see Colombian men. They only like 5'5" down here. But
wow, 5'5". Wow.
Yeah, some short dude. Dude, Andrea's dad only like 5'7".
Really?
Man,
dudes ain't tall down here, man. Not in Colombia, man. Dude, I'll be at the family reunion looking like Gargamel with the Smurfs, man. That's 6'3".
Right. Well, guys, y'all go subscribe to Gail at Night as well. That's my sister. Love her.
Oh, yeah.
But guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Ingram, do you have anything else to say before I sign off, dog? Anything else to say?
No, man. I'm just gonna say it's been a great stream, and always good.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the fellowship.
It's always great to see you guys.
Right. And you know, I'm going to do a show tomorrow talking about the invisible man and the psychology behind the invisible man. And it's going to be a good one on tomorrow, man. The invisible man, we're going to break it down. If you guys get a chance to drop in, man. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you for all the love. Dre, Ingram, Richie, Guapo, you guys came through, man. And that's what it's all about, man. I appreciate it, you know. But Dre, you know, you 6'3", I'm 6'6" with shoes on.
Right.
And Ingram about 6'8", So you know we'll be McDonald's All-Americans down abroad.
Oh, no doubt at all.
especially Ingram. But anyway, we're about to sign off, guys. Dre, before we sign off, this was my early kosher days, man. They don't know about it. I had this kosher swag in my 20s. So here it go.
Before there was the manosphere, I was. Before there was the internet, I was that Sigma male crying out in the wilderness for justice and equality for those that are downtrodden and broken, those that are voiceless. I was the kosher clinician before I was the kosher clinician on the internet. My plight and my war cry
for justice and humanity is nothing fake. But I've always been kosher. And sit back and get this kosher fun.
Hello, everyone. Is there equality in America, fact or fantasy? First of all, I would like to salute all fellow human beings and most graciously those who are beacons of light for justice and righteousness. To vocally explain the tenets of equality, fact or fantasy, I must begin with the combination of two alphabets, I and F, which spells if. No respect of person, but gives protection to all them that fear him. So therefore, I ask you this profound and non-scholastic question. If there was equality in America, will I be standing here today? You decide, fact or fantasy.
This is Kosher Connection. 7 wonders the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Connection. 7 wonders the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Connection.
That's that Kosher 5, man. I've been killing the game since I was in my 20s, man. And that's why I try to tell folks, man, my work predates the manosphere, and that's no disrespect to the manosphere. But my work predates them. I didn't need Kevin Samuels to tell me about dress. I was doing this, man, in my 20s, man. So that's just who I am. When I came into this space, it was basically by default because I've always been an advocate for men. You see my point? Nobody had to tell me. I've been doing this for years. So when people say, I've been doing this for years. And I got the evidence and the receipts to prove it, man. So anyway, man, love you, brothers. Ingram, I'm gonna go check out this Duke VA game, man. And I'll see you guys.
All right, well, you take it easy, man.
All right, man. Y'all be good, man. All right, take care, fellas. You too. All right, be good. All right, guys. All right, we're about to sign off, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and it's been a good one. And thank you for everyone that showed love, man. We're about to sign out. Be well.
Fire. Kosher clinician.
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues, absent fathers who miss you, mama drama don't kiss you, all a part of the ritual, this is how they get you, separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to, damn, lovers, haters acting like vultures, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is Kosher Connection. 7 wonders the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Connection. 7 wonders the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Connection. 7 wonders the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Connection. 7 wonders the whole world gotta listen. Listen.
It's not my fault. You've been lying, saying that I took away your peace. Drowning by yourself, now you wanna blame me. Like you have no options. I ain't take your options. Nah, I'm not the problem. Man, that's on you, yeah. You've been terrorizing me, yeah, I'm always wrong. I knew you lost your mind when you dropped that bomb. Girl, are you crazy? Yeah, you must be crazy. I've been thinking lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. But baby, it's you. Lie like a rat, but take your stuff back. baby, it's you. Baby, it's you. What did you think? You could say whatever and I would never hear. You've been flexing everywhere. Girl, look in the mirror. Man, you so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. But baby, it's you. Lying like a rat, but take your stuff back. Baby, it's you. Baby, it's you. If I control the weather, then every day would rain on your parade. Shine, you can't change, yeah. If I was Father Time, then I would change the day. So I never saw your face. Hey, please. What do I have to do to make you go? Oh, baby, it's you. It's you. It's you. It's you. Walk out that door, no, yeah. to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just pull it out and count for nothing when I'm feeling great. Give my baby little more just to spend it, and I'm always on go, I don't hesitate. Used to always know I make it, yeah. I'll be me until I'm in the grave, yeah. See my record, had to set it straight, yeah. I make to kill like 10 times 10. I got wires coming in, some in euros, some in sec, some in dollars, some in yen. I've been trying to keep my zen, keep my cool. Trying to keep the family fed, get my food. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. Did it, do it. I did it all, no gimmicks. I did it all, no fibbits. Now I got all these children, now I got all these clones. Now I got all you twinning, now I got all you thinking like all you winning. They tried to count me out, they tried to fill that doubt. They tried to ride my wig, they tried to knock me out. They tried to count my wins, they tried to show my L's. They tried to make me in, they tried, but where they now? Where they? Step in the spot and they stare at me. All of these battles will bear me. I swear that nothing compares to me. Feeling blessed, I won't stress. Beat the odds, you know the rest. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend.